was approaching 100 million mark. Can we consider paying dividends from the app going forward? Chairman explained on the options available. We had 3 options on share capital deposits, DT. Dividends computation explained by chairman based on when the money reached the SACCO. The money received in December without earning any dividends. AOB, change of email. This was to be handled by Helen and reach out for Kithioma. Reports shared last minute. We can have reports shared a day before. Use of technology. Link on budget will make members not to attend. Penalty on non-attendance. Is there deduction to be put in place? Ibrahim clarified that link is for members in remote areas and those working. Matter to be reconsidered to allow members to attend physically. Proposal was done to have the link shared to members in remote areas only. Ibrahim encouraged members to guarantee each other for consistency on loans. Growth plan for the SACCO. We had a question on do we sign more MOUs or we recruit more? The response from Ibrahim to member on education was more visibility. New staff onboarding to include SACCO information and plan to have MOU with other organizations, especially where members are moving to. An example was given for poor internet. Recommendation to the committee for the SACCO growth by Ernest Obondi. Proposal for SACCO to do a credit score for members in regards to loan repayment. This will help in guarantorship. Ibrahim explained we have some measure in place with Quara for the credit score. Bank statements on system. Anthony confirmed upgrade done, but issue had been sorted. The introduction for members who came late was done. And there being no other business, the meeting was adjourned at 14 p.m. with a word of prayer by Helen Ezi. The minutes were prepared by Victoria and approved by the chairman, Peter Mwalo. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Vicky. That was a long report. We appreciate. So as per tradition, somebody has to propose that the minutes were read and we get a seconder. Proposal from Kevin Utieno. Somebody to second? Kevin? Gina? Joshua Mutua, seconds. Thank you so much, Joshua. Also, I want to acknowledge the presence of a cooperative. You know, SACCOs are regulated by the cooperative, the Ministry of Cooperative. So every AGM, there has to be an attendance from them. So we have Madam Esther Mutua, who has joined us, and she's going to assist us, especially on matters that are involved on policies, election, and also oversight. Karibu sana, Madam Esther. Yeah, okay? All right, so I want to take this opportunity to invite the chair. The chairman will take us through his report, and then we move to the next one. Peter, karibu.
Thank you, Ibra. My name is Peter Mwalo. But allow me, before I do my report, we'll just take about 5 to 10 minutes to introduce ourselves. It's our tradition, and I will give you the microphone. Start from here. Please tell us your name, and if you're working for one of the member organizations, just specify. If you're an independent member, also just say so.
Morning. I'm Joshua Mutua from CCI. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Michelle Chebet from CCI.
Good morning, everyone. Erastus Gashukia from CCI.
Morning, everyone. My name is Monica Wangare, CCI Kenya.
Good morning. My name is Caroline Kiplakat, Simbanet.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kamanga Masharia, an independent member. Morning, everyone. My name is Aurelius Doctor, CCI.
Morning, everyone. Levis, CCI.
Morning. Alex, CCI.
Good morning, guys.
Alex
Dixon.
who?
Alex Njiri.
Hello, guys. My name is Dixon Bindio, CCI Kenya.
Morning, team. Kennedy Kamau, independent member.
Good morning, everyone. Edwin Harrison, Wananchi Group.
Good morning, guys. Christopher Chalo, independent candidates.
Good morning, everyone. John Wangi, Wananchi Group.
Good morning, everyone. David Mwazara, independent.
Good morning, everyone. Masi Katini, Wananchi Group.
Good morning. Ukundi Emmanuel, Wananchi Group.
Good morning, everyone. Kuske Vincent, Wananchi Group.
Morning, everyone. Kibet Ruta from Wananchi Group.
Morning, everyone. Eliud Madenge, Wananchi Group.
Good morning, members. Kevin Otieno, Wananchi Group.
Morning, everyone. Moses Odongo, Wananchi Group.
Hello, everyone. Juma Dominic, Wananchi Group.
Good morning, everyone. Ernesto Bondi, independent.
Morning, everyone. Erastus Oshira, Simba.
Jambo, naitwa Nelson Ngetich, Wananchi.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Geoffrey from Simba.
Morning, everyone.
Geoffrey who?
My name is Geoffrey Shibeka from Simba.
Morning, everyone. Beatrice Kavindu, Simba.
Morning, everyone. The chairman just solved my problem. I'm Geoffrey Mora from Simba. Actually, now I would have one that.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Samuel Ondioki, Simbanet.
Morning, everyone. Ken Morage, Wananchi Group.
Hello, good morning. I'm CP Anthony Kimboku, Rion and Associates.
I think we've seen some new guys coming in. Tafadhali, introduce yourselves. I saw Mercy too.
Morning, everyone. This is Charleston Machanga, Wananchi Group.
Morning, everyone. I'm Felix Ayodo, Wananchi Group.
Thank you, guys. Bwana Chair, back to you.
Thank you, everyone. Part of the reason why we are here is to be able to know each other and relate with each other. We are a family. And as the years go by, if you only know those you work with, then you are limiting yourself, because the social capital is a very important one. It will not only help us in other spheres, but even here in the circle, especially when you're looking for guarantors. Now, I had shared my report on the wall, and I would like to request you to ensure that you are able to access it. Those of you who have read it, thank you. You'll make my work easier. But those who have not read it, please open it and ensure that you are able to read it as I do. Right? This is the chairman's report for the 17th AGM meeting for the year ending 31st December 2025. Our guest, representative from the Ministry of Cooperatives and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. The SACCO appointed auditors, Leon Williams and associates, fellow cooperators, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to welcome you to the 17th Simba Sacco AGM. Please feel at home, for it is home. I thank you for taking your time to attend the AGM. I wish to thank you for the support you've given to the Sacco during the year. The regular deposits you made, the loans you took, the paid diligently, you took and paid diligently every month, the inquiries you made about the Sacco whenever you needed to, the goodwill you gave us, and the continued membership you have maintained over the years. For this, we say thank you. I wish to remind you that this is an annual event during which we convene to review and discuss our year's performance and development and agree on the way forward. We enhance our policy regulations through
work. When if we use these opportunities available to us, we will definitely not be the same. I normally say that when I got employed, but I can tell you that the challenges are still the same. I remember if you ever read Jenga Karume's book, From Charcoal to
secure and grow your money, to provide effective consumer service within the framework that we have. We continue to stabilize our financial performance of the SACCO, providing returns to members comparable to SACCOs with better resources in the market. And I can challenge you that if you look at our performances in the recent past, and even in this year that we are reviewing, the performance is comparable to other SACCOs, the names that be. And we will continue to endeavor to do this. As we do this, we have seen increased savings and thus increase by size, by asset base. An increase in size by asset base. In other words, as we have seen an increase in your savings, and that grows the SACCO in terms of resources, in terms of assets. The increased growth requires enhanced corporate infrastructure, which include enhanced systems, business processes, and controls. We are in the process of implementing some of these. Kindly support these initiatives and conform to the new processes and controls implemented. Now, one of the challenges of growth, one of the challenges of, even the good have challenges. Even the good has challenges. And if you've ever seen a sole proprietor business, when the sole proprietor business grows, I don't know whether you know what a sole proprietor business is. What I mean is, say, it begins as a dukawala, and when the dukawala grows, and there are a lot of business, the fellow now has so much more business. Sometimes challenges come, and those challenges have to be dealt by trying to institutionalize the business so that the business is able to support larger business transactions. It needs to be based on systems and processes, and there needs to be order that does not necessarily depend on the person performing the transaction. 2025 was a very challenging year for us. Most of our traditional investment options provided less than impressive results most of the year. In fact, one of our most difficult years was 2025. I can assure you that in the last couple of months, these officials here are wondering what are we going to come and tell the members, because it's been very difficult. And we have been burning our midnight oil to try and knock all doors to ensure that we actually sustain our growth that we started. You remember the previous year we had an 8%, as in 2 years back. And then we went to 10.4. And everybody was happy. And that was a good and a bad. A good for you, but bad for us because we needed to work extra hard to be able to sustain the same. Equally, members started bringing in more resources. In fact, the savings grew very highly. But our traditional markets, our traditional earning areas or options dwindled, the likes of money market. The interest there went much, much lower. Previously, we have been getting interest from money market of as high as 10% plus. But right now, it's ranging between 8% to highest probably is single digits, mostly, single digits. But nonetheless, I thank everyone involved for their support. We've managed to get here with a lot of support from everyone. Software. The Quora software continues to be used through, though with some challenges. The size of our loan, that is on loans, our size of our loan book in 2025 reduced from 54.7 million to 51.7. 50% of our total assets from 60% the previous year. This was due to a lower uptake of normal loans during the year. The Sacco therefore widened its investment to other options in order to maintain its performance and to continue to absorb the increased savings. Our loan repayment discipline improved the last couple of years. However, we have a few members who are defaulters. We continue to take options geared towards recovering the defaulted loans. We continue to implement our loan recovery processes. It's worth noting that the Sacco's CRB registration has now been approved by the Central Bank of Kenya. As we implement our processes, kindly ensure your loan form is fully filled and manually signed to avoid back and forth communication. Submit the document physically or scan and send the pages as a single document using your Sacco's registered email address. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sacco loan application form. The loan application form must be filled and manually signed. Then you can scan it as a single document and send it using your registered email address, Sacco registered email address, not any other email address. I know we are tightening some of these things, yes, but that is what, in the digital world, that is what it requires. Why your registered email address? The only person you gave us, identity you gave us, was that email address, isn't it? So if you start using another email address, how do I know it is you? Okay? And if you give me a cut and paste signature, how do I know somebody else took your signature and pasted it? I hope you are together there. Scanning tools are very available on the internet. All our phones, cam scanners are, the likes of cam scanners are there. Don't give us. Page 1 is like karaoke. Page 2 is like Omolo. Page 3 is like Irene. You know what I'm talking about. It must be a single document. And so if you don't do this and find your Sacco, your loan process is taking too long, please don't blame us. Because we will insist that this must be done. And the reason why we have to insist that this must be done, the Sacco is growing. So our assets must be safe enough. The loan is one part of our assets. As in, your money must be safe, isn't it? Right. So we will insist that this is done. Some of us just, as in the process, okay, may like, when you get a loan form, there are a lot of things that are missing on that loan form. But then they insist that they start calling you. Where's my loan, whatever. Kwa nini sijalipwa? Na pengine amepata email back that this is what it was. You need to do X, Y, Z. Instant loan product. We introduced instant loan product in June 2024, a loan utility that allows a member to access funds through a mobile phone app up to 20,000 Kenya shillings from his or her uncommitted deposits without any human intervention. The loan is payable in 30 days at 8%. This utility offers members the opportunity to access their savings at critical moments. This product continued to grow and perform very well in 2025, earning the Sacco Kenya shillings 916,000. In fact, we only need about 1.5 million as it is currently to manage this loan, this product. With 1.5 million, we made 916,000. So it's one of our products that is doing very well. However, we have a few challenges that we'll let you know. In 2025, 437 loans were disbursed, a total amount of 7.2 million, with an uptake of more than 700,000 per month in the second half of the year. We intend to grow this product to up to an uptake of 1 million a month. This has always been our objective, and I said this last year. We have moved now. Currently, we are at 700. Last year, we were doing something like 400 to 500 per month. This year, we started at around 500,000. In the last 6 months, that is from July, August to December 2025, we are doing 700,000 a month. So we are getting there. It's good progress, and we still request you to continue supporting the product. We ask defaulters to pay up to avoid being locked out of this service. Members who default once will be locked out for 6 months. And I say this with a painful heart, that we have people here, some of you could be seated here, who got the loan. It's a very simple one. In less than 5 minutes, you have your money. But they don't pay. So we are forced to recover your money, the money from your savings, including penalty. Please pay back that money in time, in 30 days, and be available to so that it gives you a chance to take another loan or the same or whatever, access the service at a later time. We equally advise those who do not repay in time to observe the regulations therein to avoid penalties. It's not that we don't like money, but we want to save you from the penalties. You know the penalty is higher than normal. And normal interest is 8%, but the penalty is higher. Anthony, the penalty is? 1% per day. Yes. So we want to ask you to avoid whatever. But we've made money from it. Like I told you, 916,000. It's good for the Sacco, good for us, we will share, isn't it? We all share, isn't it? Now, on savings, we saw an increase in member savings in 2025. In fact, I don't know, Waswahili husema nini? The money came in big chunks. In fact, in 2025, I used to tell these guys that, what are we going to do? The money is just so huge. As in, every month we are receiving much higher savings in 2025, and that is still continuing. So we appreciate that some of you are recognizing the effort we are putting, and you trust us with your money. It's your hard-earned savings. In fact, there was one day I was walking, ukienda kwa mjengo, just walk here, probably Eastlands or wherever. Kwa mjengo, normally lots of flats are coming up. And in one mjengo, I saw one mzee. Every morning, as his building was being done, he would be the first one to be there and the last one to leave. Every day. And I asked him one day, mzee, wajua sisi wengine, ukishapeana pesa umedisappear. So I asked him, why do you get time? Why? He asked me, okay, those are two questions. He told me. Why is because that I have suffered to make this money. So it must work for me. It is my hard-earned money. So we also appreciate that it is your hard-earned money, and we appreciate that. You may not appreciate as much as we do. And I'll tell you, as we go along, I'll tell you why some people don't appreciate their hard-earned money, because maybe it's whatever. But one day you will appreciate that it's really hard-earned money, especially when it starts diminishing. When it's so much, you can probably give anybody you meet around. Akiuliza shilingi 200 unampa tu hata aulizi maswali. Our net increase in member deposits in 2025 is 11.1 million compared to 6.1 million the previous year. 11.1 million compared to 6.1. That's almost double, isn't it? This is a vote of confidence. A vote of confidence in the performance of the Sacco. Thank you so much, dear members. Medical insurance loan. We are in the process of introducing a medical insurance loan product. We will source for medical insurance service from a reputable provider to cover willing members. The members will pay the insurance premium through a Sacco loan that they would pay for within 6 months to 1 year. We realize that some of our members do not have medical insurance. So we would like to come together and source for a medical insurance service from a reputable service provider. The Sacco will then pay for the premium on behalf of the member, and then the member now pays back this premium as a loan. Let me see by a show of hands if you feel that's a good thing to do. Thank you, guys. Now, we had sorted your cash flow manenos by instant loan. Now, you don't have to fear, even if you go somewhere and somebody jokes around with you, bwana, kwamba we ni malingumu, mbona utoangi pesa? You know, Quara is there. Yeah. In a very short time, unaweza kusema, poop, imeingia na ufanye whatever. And if some lady decides to, no, I did not go there. So now we need to sort ourselves on the issue of medical. Our financial performance is as follows. The Sacco's overall performance continues to improve. During the year, if you look at the figures there, I'll focus on 2024 and 2025. Our total assets has grown to 103,406,386, which was a 14.1% increase from 90,549,089. If you look at that growth, we are really growing. Our member deposits increased to 89,671,038, which was also a 14.1% increase from 78,594,145. However, our loan book dropped from 54,736,256 to 51,757,532. In other words, there was lesser loan uptake in 2025, but there was also higher loan repayments in 2025. So the rate at the loan repayments was growing, as in the loan repayments vis-a-vis loan uptake. The loan uptake was lower. Now, that has brought down our loan book to 50% from 60%. So the other portion had to go to other options of investment. And if you look at the next item, was our investment in other options, which went up from 26,808,828 to 40,523,864. This majorly is in money market and treasury bonds. By last By the last AGM, we had 10 million on treasury bonds, a 3-year treasury bond. And in the year 2025, we invested in another 10 million treasury bond, bringing the total in treasury bond to 20 million. We intend to increase this portfolio. So in the course of this year, the 3-year bond will mature, and we intend to redo another bond. There's always a fear that when you invest so much on or whatever in this kind of security or this kind of investment options, especially treasury bonds that take longer period, people don't see themselves in 10 years or 15 years. What will happen to my money? Please note that that fear should not be there. This SACCO is there to stay here. It's an institution that will outlive us. We will come and go, other people will come in, and even then, you can actually sell your treasury bond in the secondary market, even at a higher price. These are instruments available to whatever. And if there are any economists in this room, or accountants, you'll agree with me that this is how people do business. Our total income grew from 8.1 million to 9.1, which was a 12.3 increase from the previous year. Our total expense to total revenue ratio improved from 14% to 12%. In other words, we have a lower percentage. Our interest on member deposits you can see it there. Last year we gave 10.4% on member deposits and 15% on share capital. This year, we recommend. We're not saying we want to pay. We simply recommend, we bring here. It is for you to decide whether you want to take this money when she comes up. Tukimwambia kwamba tumpe some children's home somewhere, we will just implement. But we recommend a 10.5% on member deposits and a 15% on deposits, on share capital. Now, tax on dividends, as you know, is 5%. So there's a government regulation that we need to deduct and withhold 5% and remit to KRA. I wish to thank you, members, for your continued support. I equally take this opportunity to thank the officials, the executive and the supervisory committee for their commitment and hard work in serving the SACCO. In fact, definitely, I don't work here alone, you know that. And these guys are the ones that support this process. Hii kazi ni kazi ya, as Webra normally says, pro bono. It's near there, because even if you're whatever, it needs personal initiative and the love for this SACCO. Needs a love for this SACCO. Last year, we disbursed 5.4 million. This year, we are going to disburse, if you decide so, 6.3 million. That is how much we make for you. I wish to thank our member organizations for their continued support. That is Wananchi Group, SimbaNet, Simba Technology, CCI Kenya, for their support. We thank our business partners, the auditors, our bank, Cooperative Bank, the asset managers CIC and Madison, Central Bank of Kenya, and software providers Quara and Cellulant for their collaboration during the financial year. I acknowledge and appreciate the support from the Ministry of Cooperatives, the State Department for Corporate Development for their continued support and guidance. Every time we need them, they are very fast to serve us. And I have to appreciate, Madam Esther, please, we thank you. We have never failed us. Anytime, even at short notice, we call on you people. You've always been there for us. We don't take it for granted. We know there are so many circles, but you've always been there for us. Thank you once again. We thank God for this for His continuous blessings. I have worked with the circles as a consultant for several years. And some of this is not, things don't normally just happen. In fact, circles have a lot of issues. But we have remained very focused, and we don't take that for granted. It's God's blessings. I look forward to a better 2026. Thank you, and God bless. Now, maybe at a later time, when the MC allows me, I will want to explain on how we arrive at the amount that we will pay you on dividends. So, and normally some people have questions. The bottom line basically is that the money that came earlier earned higher than the money that came late. Like, for instance, if you gave us money, the money that you gave us in December, that money will not earn anything because it came at the end of December. And some part of it, sometimes we are paid that money in January of 2026. So how would that money have earned anything? It's paid in 31st December, isn't it? So how would I would have used it to make some money? But the money that came in December 2024 was with us for the entire year, and therefore that would earn higher. So given a chance, I will be able to explain on some wall here on how your dividend computation. I've had that question a couple of times. It's important that we give it some little time to explain it. Thank you.
Washira, Erastus Washira, and who's seconding? Alex seconding. Oyuga. Okay. I think allow me, Chair, to break. The moment you are employed, namaanisha you're a slave. I think my first employment was formal one was in 2005, which means nimekuwa mtumwa for those many years. It is very unfortunate. Yeah, I'm very old. Yeah? The next thing amesema, you need a backup for your employment, and that is why the SACCO is there, right? He has insisted you save and invest. Don't just save, also invest. So if you have money with a SACCO, which is good, please take a loan. Jenga nyumba, go to school, yeah, get a business, because the interest rate is 12% against commercial banks, which unapata saa zingine ni 17, 18, 21%. It can't get cheaper than that. So take advantage and invest. The other thing I think Chair amesema ni, we read Jenga Karume's book, sindio? He's not just a billionaire, he wrote a book, right? So we try as much. He has also shared good news on the dividends. Of course, we'll give him the opportunity to break it down and let us know how we came up to the 10%. But what I want to agree with him, I sit on the supervisory committee, And the role of the supervisory committee is to oversight, including the chair. So I had a chance for the last of Q4 to sit with the credit committee to see exactly what they do with your money, because we represent the members, their process. I was like an internal auditor, and I can tell you, hiyo kazi si rahisi. I have to give it up to them. The number of forms that we get, every 2 days, 3 days, there's somebody sending a form. And as human nature, the moment you apply for a loan, that is when pressure hits. The calls they get, the follow-ups, somebody applies for a loan today, anataka apatiwe kesho. And we have a process that involves verifying your form, confirming the authenticity of the signatures, approvals. It can take a week, but the pressure comes from left and center. Today somebody applies, mwingine kesho, kesho kutwa. So the committee is forced to sit every ad hoc time, and remember, they're also doing the other scope. So it's not easy, but the objective is to try and make sure that you get that loan, because our major investment and where we get our revenue is through the loans. So we are encouraging you guys to keep on taking the loans, and of course we are giving credit to the team. So thank you so much, Bwana Chair. I also now want to give this opportunity to Anthony, who's going to take us through the supervisory where I sit, get to understand what they do, what has been happening for the last 1 year, and pretty much we acknowledge them. Anthony?
Is it afternoon yet? Oh, still morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Anthony, like you've been introduced. I'll be going through the supervisory committee report, where we have 3 members. One, me being the chair, Ibrahim being the secretary, and we have another member, Peter Mogea. I'll go to what the chairman said, just one take home, that let money work for you. Don't work for the money, let the money work for you. Na kwa hayo amesema, hata hii koti yangu naona nikibadilisha. Cheo umesema nivae checked? Checked? Sawa. Niache na suti? Sawa tu. Gikomba here we come. Ama Gikomba tuitoe huko? Oh, niende Gikomba provided ina sawa. I'll make it brief so that chair has a few minutes to comment on how we arrive at the maths, which leads to our dividends and leads to the money we usually get. The supervisory committee report. The supervisory committee, that is SC, is grateful to the honorable members of the Simba Sacco for the privilege that you've accorded us to serve you as your watchdog in the year 2025. We also wish to commend you for the continued commitment to the mission of the Sacco. The SC also commends the board for their commitment in directing the business of Simba Sacco during the year 2025. The mandate of the supervisory committee is established under the SACCOs Act and guided by the regulations from SASRA. It draws its mandate from Rule 28 of the Cooperative Societies Rule 2004 and cooperative bylaws. These provisions require that the supervisory committee verifies society transactions, monitors the implementation of policies, and make periodic reporting on its finding to the board. The goal is to ensure that the board serves the interest of the society, members, and as well safeguards the resources entrusted to them. The supervisory committee has been conducting quarterly inspections in the SACCO office, presenting its finding and recommendation on the operations of the SACCO management. Below are the highlights that the SC wishes to share with the members in our annual report for the year 2025. Like Ibrahim mentioned, the way he was sitting in the credit committee, that is one of the roles of the supervisory committee. On item number 1, the financial review, this one I'll not repeat because Chair mentioned it in his report, But in case at the end of the report there's any question, you can ask about it. That is the financial position for the year 2024. On the item number 2, the SC assessed the internal control systems, reviewed loan issuance and recovery process, and evaluated the risk exposure in credit, liquidity, and operations. The SC noted that in loan recovery process, the SACCO had issued letters to the guarantor stating their intentions to recover defaulted loan. On the risk exposure, the SC noted that most of the investment the SACCO took were low-risk products, thus keeping the SACCO risk exposure low. The major risk noted was loan defaulters, which was being addressed by the management. The chair talked about the defaulters, and I know it will be mentioned quite a while because that's one of the challenges the management is facing. Staff who exited the organizations and are not honoring their commitment. That is, most of the defaulters, we've noted that these are staff who, when they leave the major organizations which form the SACCO and move to other employments, they are not honoring the obligation. These members are, as much they are getting alternative employment, they are not committal on their payments, hence a concern. This has been picked by the SACCO management and it's been addressed. We have recommended SACCO to proceed and deduct guarantors of the 12 defaulters who missed paying loans despite various efforts to have them clear their loans. Their names will be forwarded to the CRB. I think this was done, but I can confirm that. The CRB, the SC acknowledged the effort of the Central Committee has put in place to ensure that unresponsive members who are not paying their loans are taken to CRB. The SC advises members to be diligent in repaying their loans to avoid adverse consequences of negative listing under CRB. We wish to call upon members to exhibit high levels of honesty and respect to guarantors. It's a member's obligation to service their loan and honor their relations. On compliance and governance, the good governance of any organization is essential to the achievement of its goal and objectives. SC monitored compliance with SASRA regulations and adherence to SACCO bylaws and policies and reviewed board decisions for alignment with the governance standards. The SC wished to recognize efforts by the board to conduct the business of the SACCO within the rules and regulations of the Cooperative Act and the SACCO bylaws. The society complied with all the statutory requirements for the year 2025. Member services and complaints. The SC received and addressed member complaints, monitored service delivery and turnaround times, and ensured fairness and transparency in member dealings. Although there were fewer cases, the SC confirmed that they were dealt with accordingly. On asset verification, the SC conducted periodic checks on the SACCO assets and verified existence and proper valuations of the asset. Point to note was that the land was still intact, being one of the major assets of the SACCO. On membership, whereas there was an increase in membership from 245 to 248 in the year 2025, dormant SACCO members also reduced from 71 to 62. This we would like members to reduce it to 0 so that we don't have dormant members within the SACCO, because the effect of being dormant means you will be missed out or you will miss out your dividends. The SACCO system, we've been running our SACCO system through Quora for over 1 year now. Members are now able to view and query their statements and further apply for instant loan, increasing the SACCO revenue, like the chair mentioned in regards to the instant loans. We urge members to continue interacting with the system and share feedbacks on improvement so that at least we can have a much better system and improve on it through your feedback. On the key findings, the committee noted during the year, The key strengths were growth in member deposits, like the chair mentioned. There was a very big growth, compliance with key regulatory requirements. Areas of concern included delay in loan repayment by some members, the issue of defaulters, need for improved automation and system controls. Although we have a system, we noted that most of the members don't use it. Recommendation: members are urged to take loans as the SACCO has plenty in place for disposal. This is the ultimate way of getting better returns than money market, considering the low amount MMF has been given for the year 2025. The low amount, Chair mentioned it, and actually as the SACCO, we are even giving a better option than the MMF has given for the year 2025. The SACCO, this is a reminder, the SACCO has a pay bill number, hence member can always use this opportunity to save and further increase their deposits. This will ease the issue of unknown payments. Members paying via bank account should at least have a narration for easy reference. We have funds received from members without declaration from the payee, hence needs to be reconciled. We also urge members who are paying instant loan to pay via the app for easy reconciliation. This item was there in the last AGM, and we still find members paying to the SACCO or depositing money to the SACCO without any narration, which becomes a big headache in trying to track where that money came from and to match it with the member. Although the SACCO land has been proposed to be sold off to the public, we still have it in our books since we have not received any interest from the members of the SACCO. SACCO member needs to at least buy it off so that we can remove it off our books. Defaulters are urged to honor their commitments and the SACCO to ensure stringent actions taken to increase recovery rate of defaulted loans, strengthening of credit appraisal and loan recovery processes. The other recommendation was continuous training for members, management, and improved member education on financial discipline. In conclusion, we must all strive to build trust among ourselves as members of the SACCO. The success of Simba Sacco is dependent on upholding transparency and accountability through constant engagement between the members and the board. The SC is your watchdog, thus any feedback from you is welcome. Our gratitude goes to Central Management, Credit Committee, Cooperative Department official for the support they've accorded us through the year. It's our hope and prayer that our society will be able to counter challenges attributed to opening of common bond and operation of its members. And with that, I come to the end of my SACCO report, supervisory SACCO report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. A proposer to that report from Anthony. David Mwanzala proposes, and someone to second that Anthony actually read the report. We have Chris confirming. Chris Chalo. Okay. Thank you, Anthony. So maybe a take home from Anthony's report. So these are the guys policing the SACCO. They are actually sitting there on the committee on your behalf. So I being one of them, our main role is just to make sure that there's a lot of clear processes that are done in relation to the cooperative ministry, because we have bylaws that we need to follow, and also the SACCO bylaws, and also to ensure that your assets are well taken care of. Okay? I've also seen from that report, our assets are growing. Yeah. In 2025, it was just about 103 million, up from 90. So that means we are growing towards SASRA. And when you move towards that direction, it means that you are going to be governed by the government. Yeah. And that is a good thing because it shows that the government will realize that they need to protect the members because of the amount of money, or rather the assets we are holding. And that means more controls. And so that means if you're a defaulter, you're seated here. If you're not conversant to the bylaws, it is now high time for you to join and get to know what happens to the SACCO. Okay, so the next committee is the credit committee, which has Augustine Alwatch, one of the secretaries. We have Johnson Kamau, who's the chair, and we have Morris Kimamo. Since I had mentioned earlier, I had sat in that committee for 3 months to get to understand their scope, what they're doing, and their daily activities. I'm going to read on their behalf. And I'm privy to most of the issues and pretty much their KPIs. So it is with pleasure that the credit committee presents to you the report for the year ended 31st December 2025. So the duties of the credit committee, and I want to encourage you to read, because we've shared that report on the Simba Sacco group, so that we work together. So they have 7 duties, the main duties that they do for the Sacco. The first one is they hold meetings every month to review loans and may meet as often as the business of the Sacco may reasonably require. So as I said earlier, we get ad hoc requests most of the time, regardless. Before it used to be twice, every 10th of the month and every 25th. But the demand came up higher because members would just come out, and because emergencies would come out randomly and apply. And the market is very competitive because you find most institutions have come up with instant loans, banks are available. So it means also, as for the Sacco, we need to be competitive. So the credit committee agreed that they will create time for you and at least be available. Maybe the only difference is that you'll give them 1 week at least for them to sit, approve, and have your loans disbursed. So it moved from twice to at least a reasonable time when you have enough loan forms available. So that's number 1. Number 2, the credit committee reviews applications carefully and diligently to ascertain the applicant's ability to repay fully and promptly. All decisions must be based on the loan policies and financial conditions of the applicant and the guarantors, if any. So that point means that there are a lot of policies and a lot of rules they look at. And you'll see eventually on this report, there are quite a number of loans they rejected. This is simply because they need to safeguard and take care of your investments. So the biggest mistake that I noticed was the signatures. Yes, it's true we are moving towards AI and a digital world, but your signature has to be authenticated. So you try and sign that form yourself and make sure that that form, the guarantor who has signed, the signature is from that guarantor. So when they are looking at these forms, the signatures are very key because they have to authenticate that you are the original owner. That is number 1. If you're sending an email, for those guys who are sending emails to guarantee a member, that email has to be with the Sacco originally. Because when you're joining, there's a form that you applied. You indicated your mobile number, your address, your physical address, your next of kin, and your email address. So if you gave us that specific email address, that is what they will use to justify the application and the guaranteeing signature. If you give us a different email address, unfortunately, that will not be used to confirm that you are a guarantor. So the email address is very important. The other thing that they check is the guarantor has to be at least somebody who is not a defaulter, and we know who a defaulter is, right? Somebody who consistently pays their loans, if they have a loan, and an active member. And this is the biggest mistake that people actually do. You come with a form, and you have like 10 guys who have guaranteed you, and you've applied for an exact amount, and unfortunately that form will be rejected. So it is very important for you to be able to be conversant with the policies and the bylaws of the Sacco. We will share again those bylaws so that whenever you apply for these loans, it is easy for you and faster to get the loans reimbursed. The third duty is approving loans brought to the committee by members, so that's the main one. The credit committee reviews and monitor Sacco lending and credit related to activities. So basically it means the credit committee pretty much handles issues around loans and disbursement. Okay? The other duty, they report to the management executive committee. So pretty much those 3 members report to the chairman, the vice, and we also have a secretary of the Sacco, plus the treasury, who is Millicent. And the credit committee keeps records of all actions as pertains to the above. So these are your forms. So if you applied for a loan maybe 5 years ago, we can actually go back and retrieve that information if need be. So their role is to ensure that they keep all the records in relation to credit approvals, yeah, so that in case of any follow-up, any form of checks and balances, it comes through that particular committee. So the loan application approvals and disbursement for the year 31st. So we want to go through the number of loans, how much we approved, how many loans were rejected, how many were returned back as top-ups, how many were taken as a normal loan. So we'll review each. So as part of its mandate to review and approve loans for disbursement during the period, and the credit committee, they report the below. During the period, we had a total of 140 loans that were applied. From this 140, 134 loans were approved and 6 were rejected. So I've already highlighted on why the loans are normally rejected. So we had a good number of success, which is 134. We managed to approve a total of 19,966,000, which was disbursed in that year. Unfortunately, that is a decay because in 2024, we disbursed 28 million. That is just a difference of about 10 million. So that's a big hit for the Sacco because it means we had less amount disbursed in 2025 compared to 2024. And I think the chair will bring out how we managed to achieve 10% because, as he mentioned earlier, 2025 was a very hard year for us because, as you can see, compared to 2024, our revenue from loans went down by around 10 million. Okay? So that was a dip of 29% compared to 2024. When you look at that report, I would request, we've showcased the number of loans we've approved in the year 2025. So I said earlier, we had a total of 140. On that chart, you can see rejected 6. The number of loans that were disbursed per month, equally shared. You can clearly see there were months where we were doing about 125. So that tells you, like this is the month of August. There's a good month, which is March 2025, where we did at least 2.4. But when you plot that on a graph, it doesn't showcase well. So I think what we're trying to drive here is that this year we need to push for members to take loans. It is one thing to save, but please, we're encouraging you to invest. How do you invest? Please take a loan so that at the end of the year, we generate revenue as much as possible. And Chairman had highlighted something which is very critical, and I think it needs to be driven home. The earlier you take the loan during the year, the more revenue the Sacco gets to attain. Correct? The moment you take a loan in December, that basically means we are not going to be doing anything with your funds. So this is the right time to make sure that you get better dividends in 2026, in 2027. Okay? For example, when you look at that chart, 1.43 was taken in December 2025. It basically generated less for us compared to January 2025, where we had 1.5. Okay? We have 3 types of loans. We have emergency loans. We have normal loans. These are normal loans that take 10 days for approval. And then we have top-ups. So nowadays, we are treating normal loans like emergency loans. We don't have specific days to sit. You bring your loans. We are here to serve you. We try as much to make sure that we approve your loans as fast as possible. Correct? Top-up loans are basically small loans that you take on top of your normal loans. Right? So you might come and you want to take maybe a 10% on top. So these are very minimal loans. So pretty much we call them top-up. Okay? Major reasons for the reduction of the disbursement, as highlighted earlier, we had quite a number of members who defaulted on both instant and normal loans. So pretty much the rejections. The forms, we have forms that have a lot of issues. The signatures, guarantors who are not qualified. The forms are very key for us as credit committee. Now in this case, as a supervisory, speaking on behalf of them. How you fill that form is very important. Your names, you need to indicate the amount you're taking. You need to put your bank details. You also have to have a witness who has signed. The signature has to be authenticated. You have to sign yourself. Your guarantors have to be qualified, correct? If you're using an email address, or rather the guarantor is sending an email, that email has to be the one with the SACCO. The signature has to be the same signature, because we can actually tell if it is a different signature compared to, because most of these members are normally the same. And for member organizations, these are basically Wananchi, CCI, Simba Tech, SimbaNet, your HR has to approve, because we also try and make sure that their third rule is also aligned with HR. Because remember, at the end of the day, this deduction is done from your payslip. So for member organizations and members from those organizations, your form has to be approved, unlike an independent member who will go through a different process. So that part of the incomplete form is very key. The other thing that I noted personally on behalf of supervisory, and I can confirm the credit committee is very key on this, is the inconsistency on payment. So you have members who they skip 1 month, they pay the next month. And these are the deposits, because part of the rule of being a member of the SACCO is that you have to be an active member. And an active member is a member who has been paying consistently for 6 months without skipping a month. So you'll find that, for example, the minimum deposit is 2,500, correct? So you miss that 1 month, the next month you pay 5,000. So this member basically is recovering the previous month, but the consistency you can see is an issue. So such a member is still considered as an inconsistent member as much as they recover the previous month. So what you are saying is, try as much as you can to make sure every month your deposits are paid. And of course, if you have a loan, you are paying your loan. Those are the things we look at in terms of consistency. Of course, there's their third rule. We cannot give you a loan if you can't afford it. For member organizations, your pay slip is very important, because that's where we see and identify whether you actually qualified to get a loan. And we also engage your HR. Your HR somehow plays a major role with the SACCO, because we talk every time you apply for a loan, from Wananchi to CCI to Simba Tech. So the moment your HR has not signed, it's an issue, because sometimes you find that you have your own loans somewhere and we have to align with HR. So, and then the other thing is, if you're not consistently paying within 6 months, that's a given. And it so happens that you find some members have financial constraints, so they request to exit the SACCO, which is your right. We exit you, you go, you fix your issues, you come back again. The moment you come back, you're coming in as a new member. Because some members think the moment they come back, they still have the record of being an active member. You have to be paying continuously, diligently for 6 months for you to get your first loan. So that is one of the rules. We have quite a number of members, I can confirm, who missed out because of that rule. The member came in, left at some point, and came back and applied, but we told them to wait for 6 months. We had a member who came in, applied for a loan. After application of the loan, the member decided, I'm only going to pay for my loan, I don't want to pay for deposits. So we were deducting the loans. Once he cleared his loan, he comes back again for another one. Of course, the deposits you have to pay for 6 months. So all those variables are very key when it comes to approvals. So on behalf of supervisory and also the credit committee, I can confirm those checks are being done. So those are the reasons for rejecting the loans. We have a chart there on the trajectory from 2022 to 2025. That shows you how we've trended since 2022. You can clearly see, and we're still driving home, 2025 was not a good year. Normal loans is where we get our biggest investment, the 12%. It was 21% compared to top-ups. Top-ups are basically menial amounts that we give out, and we encourage members to take mostly normal loans. In 2024, you can see 34% was normal loans. 50 loans in 2024 were normal loans against 2025, which is 29 loans that were applied. In total, the number of application compared to 2024, almost the same, 140 versus 149. But the difference in the number of loans, the amount is like day and night. Yeah, we had 19 million, 19.9 in 2025 versus 28.3 in 2024. Pretty much, it was a low. When you go to the next page, month on month, basically year to year from 2013, on how our loans were disbursed, you can see we've been growing. 2013, we were disbursing about 7.2 million. 2014, 9.4. We went to the highest in 2024, which was last year, to 24 million. That shows you that the Sacco was really growing. Unfortunately, 2025, 19, which is an equivalent to almost 2021, right? So that means this year, the Sacco has a very strict target, yeah, to make sure that we go back to 2024 and above. We've seen the first quarter has been a good quarter. Guys have been taking loans better than 2025. So I want to confirm at least quarter one, we've done better. Our worry is quarter two, and that is why we are having this meeting while at it to encourage you guys to do the same thing in quarter two. I think the message on defaulters can never be driven more home like it has been driven before. And even now I've seen on the chairman's report and the supervisory has been an issue. So the credit committee has noted with concern an increase in the default rate, especially from staff who left the three major organizations. And I want to confirm, on Wananchi, because I'm from Wananchi side, last year we lost quite a number of members from Wananchi. We lost them to some organizations that came up, Savannah being one of them. We have POA, and of course other organizations, because I think the industry is growing. And so while members move, that means the effort of deducting their loans from the pay slip becomes now an effort of the member, you know, the check-off. And we all agree that deduction and payment is more of discipline. Right now, most members are paying, especially from the member organization, because they are mandated by HR. Your pay slip is being addressed and worked on by HR. That is why it is very easy. But we notice the moment a member moves from the member organization, that is where the issue starts. And I can confirm it's not like the defaulters are struggling financially. They just choose not to pay. Because from the credit committee, because they're also mandated to follow up on these members, you'll find most of these members, in fact, none of the defaulters are actually unemployed. Some of them are managers somewhere. Some of them are, we can actually get to trace that they're actually earning well. You can know with their lifestyle. But unfortunately, there's a defaulting element from this member. And the worst part is that those people they've guaranteed are being deducted. So the Sacco sat and agreed that unfortunately the guarantors, and that is the norm for Saccos, will have to pay in that effort of paying this loan. But it is very unfortunate that somebody is being deducted a loan that has been taken by someone else who can actually pay for that loan. So it's an issue. So for members here, and I'm also happy to confirm that we are also online, so we have virtual members watching. We want to encourage you to try as much as you can to be disciplined when it comes to paying loans, whether you are from a member organization or independent, okay? And for the guys who, because you know them, you know these defaulters, because the credit committee always tries as much as they can to try and recover. So the last option is you as the guarantor. We'd want to encourage you to push, because it is very unfortunate if we come for your deposits, because that is what happens. We go and deduct from your deposits, so it looks like you're the one who has taken the loan. Once the member pays, we refund. So that takes us to the point of the guarantors. So the Simba Sacco is mandated by page 2 of our loan policy and bylaws to withhold guarantor amounts as the member continues to repay the loan until break-even point is attained. However, there are still complexities involved in these recoveries, and a similar substantial amount remains unpaid. The committee and guarantors are encouraged to continue putting more pressure on defaulters to repay their loans. As a credit committee, we wish to thank all committee officials and ordinary members who have been assisting on these recoveries. So pretty much just driving the same message home. You as the guarantor, you also have a mandate to look for this defaulter. Please be advised that we will forward some names to CRB, and I can confirm that has been done for some. Engage auctioneers and debt recovery agencies to assist complete a few cases and claw back from the guarantor. And the good thing about the CRB, it works. I can confirm. Go to a commercial bank, the first thing they'll check is, are you credit worthy? That is what they do. The moment you are rated a particular rate, sahau story alone. The other countries, you can't even get a visa if you're on CRB. Turkey is one of them. So it even goes down to your visa. So some people undermine CRB, but I can tell you for free, no one can survive without a loan. I agree. You can agree with me. So pretty much, the moment you know you might not get a loan from the SACCO, you'll go to a commercial institution. Just ensure your name is not on the CRB. So that means please ensure that you pay your loans if you're a defaulter. As credit committee, we encourage members to continue saving with the SACCO and therefore increase the disposable amount available for loans to each individual. We also encourage members to take more loans. This directly impacts the SACCO's health and ability to sustain themselves, including payment of dividends. So just driving the same message, please take as much as you can, as early as possible, so that by the end of the year, we have enough investments to have you get good dividends and interest. Loan policy update. The committee concluded to recover the defaulted payments from guarantors directly impacting the members' deposits. Individual members affected have been contacted and updated on the impact of this recovery. The credit committee continues to thank members who will help on this loan recovery. So pretty much, for the members who are guarantors, I'm very sure you've been communicated that recovery will continue. But I'm encouraging, do not let the defaulter enjoy your money in Mombasa, because that is what they are doing. Please go for it, right? Because I can see and I can confirm as supervisory, Anthony, that you find some of the members who have guaranteed other members, you've informed them that so and so has a loan and we are going to deduct X amount, but unfortunately there's no follow-up. The defaulter is not even aware that you are going to be affected. So I don't know whether it's empathy or friendship, yeah, but I would encourage the affected guarantors to follow up. Because remember, the moment this member pays, of course, we take back and recover your deposits. So the credit committee appreciates the support of the central and supervisory committee, plus you as a member, and of course, in running the day-to-day activities. Thank you so much, team. And pretty much that is the report from the credit committee. Okay? So I think the take home from the credit committee is that they need your support. Number one, please apply for these loans. This is your money, it's your investment. We want the SACCO to grow. And how does the SACCO grow? Through your investments in taking loans. Our key core business as a SACCO is mostly on loans. Money market, bonds are normally secondary, and collaterals, because we want to generate revenue for you. So as the chairman says, the moment we realize that loan intake is becoming dismal, that is when now we start looking for alternatives. But the money is yours for you to invest and enjoy. And then the other thing is, as you invest and take loans, please pay those loans. Because the moment you pay, we all share those dividends. So that is the take home from the credit committee. And so with that, I want to get a member who can propose that. I actually read the minutes from the credit committee, the report. Justin proposes. Seconder. We have Eric Otieno, seconds. Okay? So at this point, I would want to invite our auditor. Right, Chair, you have a point? Okay.
Thank you, Bra. I just want to register an apology from the chairman of the credit committee, Johnson Kamau. Johnson lost a member of their family, and the burial is today somewhere in Nakuru, so he could not be able to make it. He was attending the AGM, I think, for the last 1 hour or so, but because of sound issues, he was not able to be audible enough here to be able to listen to him. So please take Johnson's apology. He would have been here with us. Thank you. And I also wanted to mention that the third member of the committee, that is Maurice Kimamo, left the Sacco in the course of, towards the end of last year. So Maurice is no longer a member of the Sacco, and therefore when time comes for elections, that positions will be due for someone to be elected.
Thank you, Chair. So that explains why I was seated at the credit committee. So it was also an advantage as supervisory. So I want to allow Leon Williams. This is Anthony, our auditor, to take us through the audit report. I think this is the part where I would need your keenness. This is where the operations, the financials, all activities around your money is recorded. Thank you, Anthony.
Okay, thank you. The management committee of Simba Sacco and members for having given us the opportunity to audit your books in the year 2025. I'm CP Anthony Kimbuku. I've been with you for some time. I want to go through the numbers as presented by management committee. We went through the books, and I can confirm they are doing a great job, especially where, as the chairman noted, members decided not to take the normal loans, and I think the availability of the instant loans affected the normal loans. So you will need to look at how to improve on the loan uptake. As the chairman also noted, the money markets and treasury bonds, the interest you're earning is on the single digits. So sustaining the proposed 10% might be a tall order for the Sacco if you're not taking loans. Loans will give the Sacco to the tune of 12%. And then when you remove your expenses, then you can manage to maintain the 10%. But if you're earning in the region of 8%, then getting dividends of 10% will be difficult. So I think that was something that I needed to note, so that you encourage members to take more loans if you intend to continue achieving the 10%. Then the instant loans are doing very well. Out of the 4.8 interest amounts that you earned from loans, around 800 or 900 came from instant loans. So you can see last year you didn't have the instant loans. You had 4.7 from loans, but now goes down to around 3.9 from loans, from the normal loans, and the instant loans take 900,000. So it's a concern for the Sacco. Maybe you need to look into that. So I will go into the numbers. I won't go to the statistics. The chairman had took time to take you through the statistics of the Sacco. I'll go straight to profit and loss. That is in on page 7. And the first item is interest on loans and advances. You reported 4.8 million as compared to 4.7 last year. Interest on other activities, 3.7. That's a growth from 3 million last year. This is the interest you're earning from investments. That is money markets and treasury bills and bonds. And then we have an expense. This is money that will come to you. An amount of 6.3 million will be distributed to you if you approve, against 5.4 million as compared. That's last year. Then we have some amount, a great improvement, 542,000 net fees and commission income. Again, it's 275,000. These on early redemption. These I found this to be very creative from management. Early redemption and penalties on the instant loans. He talked about the 1% after 30 days. And then we have administrative expenses of 1 million against 1 million. Nothing much to report there. And with a surplus of 1.6 million against 1.5 million last year. We have a tax charge. We started complying with taxes, income tax, 152,000 against 144. This is at the global level, but we have some withholding taxes that you find at the end of the year. The Sacco pays a lesser amount. So we have a statutory reserve of 20%. Any amount that you make at the end of the year, you need to keep 20% of it to comply with the regulations. 300,000 as compared to 279,000. So the net surplus available for distribution this year is 1.2 million against 1.1 last year. We got the next statement, page 8. That's the financial position. As the management has reported there before in the different reports that they have read, your assets, total assets have grown from 90 million to 103 million. And as you can see on loans and advances, the loans out there with members have gone down to 51.7 million as compared to 54.7 million last year. Basically, that means members are not taking loans, but your investment in other financial assets have gone up to 40 million as compared to 26 million last year. Now, this money that is sitting in these other financial assets is available for you to take it up on loans. Then an issue that has always been there over these years that I have been looking at your books is the RAD held for sale. The 4.1 million, that is money that should be making money for the Sacco. It's an idle asset that needs to be sold so that that money is available to be given out as loan or invested in other financial assets. Then in terms of liabilities, there was a growth from 78 million to 89 million on member deposits. Members continued making the deposits. Other payables, 5.4 million. Last year, this year goes up to 6.5 million. Then provision of 560 as compared to 550,000 last year. Then on equity, we have 5.8 million on equity as compared to 6.5 million this year. So we'll go to statement of changes in equity on page 9. This basically the distribution of the 6.5 million that I have read in the previous statement. There is a proposed dividend, proposed dividend on US share capital of 395,000 this year as compared to 387,000 that was paid last year. There is also a provision for honoraria 500,000 and the 303 statutory reserve, the 20% that we had read before. Something else to note here, the share capital that came in to the SACCO during the year. We only had, I think, the 11 or 12 members who joined, new members. So as much as members continue making deposits, you might need to look at strategies of getting new members. And, on the last statement, the cash flow statement, this is where we look at the cash movement during the year. As at end of last year, you had funds available in your liquid cash amounting to 2 million as compared to this year where you have 4.4 million. All these, when you look at what management is saying, that you have money available for loans and people are not taking loans, you can see 4 million is on the higher side as compared to last year. Otherwise, those are the figures as presented by management, and we have confirmed that the balances are correct. I'll now go straight to our report. That should be on page 5. Report of the independent auditor to members of Simba Sacco Society Limited. We have audited the accompanying financial statements of Simba Sacco Society Limited set out on pages 7 to 24, which complies the society's statement of financial position as at 31st December 2025, statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, and statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and a summary of significant accounting policies and other explanatory information. In our opinion, the financial statements give a true and fair view of the state of financial affairs of Simba Sacco Society Limited as at 31st December 2025, and of its financial performance and cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards and requirements of the Sacco Societies Act number 14 of 2008. The basis of our opinion is that we conducted our audit in accordance with international standards on auditing. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statements section of our report. We are independent auditors of the SACCO in accordance with the International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants, Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, together with the ethical requirements that are relevant to our audit of the financial statements in Kenya. And we have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with these requirements and the IESBA code. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. And other key audit matters, these are those matters that in our professional judgment were of most significant in our audit of the financial statements of the current year. These matters were addressed in the context of our audit of the financial statements as a whole and informing our opinion thereon, and we do not provide a separate opinion on those matters. We have also set out how we tailored our audit to address these specific areas, and any comments we make on the results of our procedure should be read in this context. This is not a complete list of all risks identified by audit. Accuracy of the financial data. The accuracy and completeness of financial data is an inherent risk in the society due to processing large volumes of data and use of both manual and IT systems in managing the society affairs. So we addressed these risk by evaluating the data provided and designing of controls, and tested the operating effectiveness of controls over the operational efficiency of the core system, capturing and recording of loan transactions, approvals, authorization of rates and interest, use of data extracted from the society's records, and we verified the completeness and accuracy of a sample of interest charges. Based on our work, we noted no significant issues in the accuracy of interest income recorded in the year. However, due to the issue of the manual and IT system, there is a risk of errors of commission or omission on the part of management. So, the management committee is responsible for other information. The information comprises the management committee's report on financial statements, statistical information which we obtained prior to the date of this audit report. Our opinion on financial statement does not cover the other information, and we do not express any form of assurance conclusion there. In connection with our audit of financial statements, our responsibility is to read the other information identified above, and in doing so consider whether the other information is materially inconsistent with the financial statements or our knowledge obtained in the audit, or otherwise appears to be materially misstated. If based on the work we have performed on other information that we obtained prior to the date of this report of the independent auditor, we conclude that there is a material misstatement of this information, we are required to report that fact. We have nothing to report in this regard. When we read other reports expected to be made to us after date of report of the independent auditor, if we conclude that there is a material misstatement therein, we are required to communicate the matter to those charged with governance. We have not seen anything to that effect. So there is the two portions: management committee's responsibility and our auditor's responsibility. Maybe that I might not need to go through for purposes of time. Otherwise, we are happy to report that your books are fairly stated, and as noted in the previous minutes, we have been auditing you for quite some time. There was a clarion call for a change, but we remain available to continue auditing for you. So if it is the wish of members, we present ourselves to be available to audit your books next year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anthony. Once again, makofi kwake. Yeah. So, before I commend somebody to propose. Proposer? Gina? Michelle? Michelle Chebet proposes. Someone to second? Ken Murage seconds. So thank you, Anthony. Anthony is basically the one who polices us. So we've allowed him to be very independent. He's very honest and transparent. Tukimes anatuambia, and we appreciate Anthony. He advises us, especially on work ethics and making sure that we are aligned to accounting policies and principles. So that is one of the secrets of trying to maintain your dividends, because also on investments, he comes in on guiding us so that we protect your assets. Okay, so I think I'll bring in the chair back to take us through the budget for this year, 2026. It's good for you to see how we are spending your money. and pick up the points that you can probably ask during the Q&A. And at this point also, Peter will also take the opportunity to explain to you how we come about with the 10% dividends, 10.5, and the 15% on the capital share. As it comes, maybe housekeeping. Kwa watu wenye wako na queue, plenty of water with Winfred there. Washrooms on your right when you come in. So feel free. So Bwana Chair, I think the floor is yours now.
Thank you, Ibrahim. On the budget, I'll be quick to give you the budget for 2026. Please, it's also on the wall. After reading the budget, I will explain how the computation of dividends. On the budget, we have on the income side, in the year 2025, the actuals as follows. Interest on income, interest on loans, interest income on loans was 4.8 million. That is 4,834,561. That is what we made in 2025, as per the books that have been read, as per the financial statements that have been read, the audited financial statements. We have budgeted a 6.1 million. The 6.1 million, we have increased savings, and we also have seen, and we would like to promote loans as much as possible. We have budgeted to do a 6.1 million earning from in 2026. Money market, we have made 1.9 million. That's 1,957,349. We have budgeted 2.8 million. Money market is still not doing very well. It's still on single digit. Treasury bonds and bills, we made 1.8 million, 1,834,380. We have budgeted 2.4 million. And this is informed by the fact that currently we have a treasury bond of 10 million treasury bond that was bought last year. And it is giving us about 1,250,000. 625,000 times 2 is what? 625,000 times 2. Those who went to school and did mathematics. Sorry? Sorry? 1.250. Right. Now we have another treasury bond of 10 million, which is due to mature in May this year. That is next month. We intend to find somewhere with it in CBK again to earn either the same amount or slightly more. So we budgeted for 2.4 million. Other operating income, we made 542,039 shillings. We have budgeted 700,000. Don't ask me where I will get this from. We got the others from you, the 542. We will make the 700 from you again. Total we made this year was on 2025 is 9,168,329. We have budgeted to do an earning or income of 12 million. Our expenditure, total expenditure, as I put in there, we budgeted 2.1 million. 2.1 million made up of audit and accounting fees of 60,000. This budget is based on what we are being charged by the current auditors. We do not know how much will be charged by the new auditors if we decide to change. But we budgeted based on the current audit fees that we have. Committee expenses, 500,000. Software services, the running services, 400,000. That we definitely will need to go down. So, but we budgeted that figure. CRB, 50,000. We did not have that expense in the current year because of we were still going through some processes that are required by government. Other operating expenses, 400,000. Bookkeeping, 48,000. AGM expenses, 500,000. Bank charges, 100,000. Member education. Actually, on bank charges, what is the reason why we are spending a lot of money on bank charges is because of it's because of the payment of dividends. We pay dividends online, and we pay it's as every transaction is a debit on our account. As much as a part of that expenditure is paid by you, the member who receives the fund, the bank equally charges us. Like in the year 2024, that the dividends for 2024, apart from passing the expense, sorry, apart from charging passing the part of that expenditure, bank charges expenditure to you, we were charged another 20,000 in the month of March when we had our last AGM. Member education, 50,000. Total 2.1 million. With a net income of 9.8 million. That is what we expect. Of course, we will do our level best to do much more than this, but that is what, however, reduce our expenditures and increase this income. Now, that is our budget for the year 2026. Don't ask me what would be our budget interest on deposits. God will provide. I would like to now give you an explanation on how we compute your dividends. This is what all SACCOs do. We do not have a software to do it, but we have crafted one. And I can for sure tell you, whether you did it through a software, what we've done is one of the best. We all went to school, but some of us went to school to do mathematics. Right, so I will explain this. Assume you have 220,000 as a balance at the end of 2025. 220,000. Now, how do I distribute the 220? Suppose at the end of 2024, you had with us 100,000, and then you decided to be giving us 10,000 every month. That means at the end of 2025 you had how much? 220, isn't it? So I want to use that figure to explain, right? At the beginning of 2025, you had with us 100,000. At the end of 2025, you had with us 220. So you gave us 10, 10, 10 every month. And let us assume that the interest we are giving you is 10%. I don't want to use 10.5. Just 10% is easy to use. So what we are saying here is this. The money that was with us throughout the year, since the beginning of the year, gets the full 10%. Because we have been with it for the entire year, and therefore we used it to do our investments for the entire year. The money that you gave us at the end of the year, that is in end of December, did not earn any money in that year. So it will not earn anything. So let us first do the 100,000 will earn the total 10%. So 10% of 100,000 is how much? Is 10% of 100,000 is 10,000. Fine. Weka hiyo kwa mfuko. In January, you gave us 10,000, isn't it? So that January came at the end of January, and therefore it has been with us for how many months? 11 months. So it will earn 11 out of 12 of the 10,000, of what? 11 out of 12 of the 10%. Please tell me how much it will earn. So what you do is this. 10% of 10,000 is how much? 1,000. 11 out of 12 of 1,000 is how much? So please give me, just compute on your on your phone. 11 out of 12 of 10,000 of 1,000 is how much? How much? 916. So add 916 to your 10,000. Okay? So you have 10,916. Let us go to February. You gave us at the end of February another 10,000, which was with us for how many months? 10 months. Now, 10% of 10,000 is how much? 1,000. 10 out of 12 of 1,000 is how much? 830 shillings. So 830 shillings added to 10,900 and whatever, the first one you gave me. So how much are we now? Sorry? 1749. Now you are on 10,100, sorry, how many thousands? 11,000 and? Should be now 11,000 plus, isn't it? 11,746. Let us go to March. You gave us, in the end of March, another 10,000. This was with us for 9 months. So we will do 9 out of 12 of 1,000, isn't it? 9 out of 12 of 1,000, because 10% of 10,000 is 1,000. So 9 out of 12 of 1,000 is 750. So add 750 to your 11,746. Add 750. $12,496. Go to April. You gave us another 10,000, which was now with us from May. So that is now 8 months, isn't it? 8 out of 12 times 1,000. Sorry? 666. Okay. Now add to your 12,000 or something, whatever, so the figure that you had. 13,162. Let's go to May. You gave us 10,000, which was now with us 583. Add 583 to whatever. 13,745. We go to June. You gave us another 10,000, which was now with us for only 6 months. 500. So add 500. So fine. So let's go to July. You gave another 10,000, which was with us for only 5 months. 416. So add 416 to that figure. 14,661. Let's go to August. August is 333. Add 333 to that figure. We go to September. You give us another 10,000, which was now with us for only 3 months. 215. 250. 250. We go to October, you give another 10,000, which was there for us with only 2 months. 166, add 166. And then we go to November, which you gave another 10,000, which was only with us for 1 month. 80? 83 shillings. Yes. Okay. Right. 15,493. So that's how we would arrive at your dividends. So you don't go about doing 220 times 10%. No. Because it depends on when the money was with us. Now, I hope that is clear now. So if you brought us, you might be having a higher balance, but that most part of that balance came towards the end of the year. Therefore, the money was not with us. Number 2, if you have somebody joined and there's something we call share capital, and share capital is what makes you to be a member of the SACCO. It's not registration. Share capital, which is 5,000. 5,000, not 5,000 minimum. Somebody became a member in September, but has been contributing small money and achieved 5,000 in September, which means that person is earning from September. So please note that. You started becoming a member in September. The other thing is to notice that dormant members and defaulters don't get dividends. So don't ask me if you're not paying your loans, because this is something that you have. You members are the ones that gave us here. If you are a defaulter, no dividends. If you're a loan defaulter, no dividends. If you are a dormant member, no dividends. Some people make very obvious mistakes. They give you a very high figure in January, give a very high figure in June, give a very high figure in December. The corporate business is about consistency, because that's what makes you. And even with the banks, when you want to go to the bank and they want to know whether you are with them, they look at how consistent you have been with them, not how much figure you have given. Being sporadic does not help you in this, especially in that industry. I hope that is clear. I have been asked to explain dormancy period. I don't want to give you that benefit. You can read the bylaws. Even if you want to go into the government's, the Cooperatives Act, you will get to see what your dormants. If you have a problem, whether you are a dormant or not, please see me. I will show you your figures. Actually, I know every person with your full names. I might not know your face, but I actually know you, everyone, with your figures. I can even tell you without looking.
Makofi kwa chair. So I think that was a very clear message. Yes, Ken.
So does it mean that the interest that is earned on the dormant member, then that is shared with the active members?
The answer is yes. The answer is yes. If you are a dormant member and you decide to give your money to others, I don't have a problem. Let me give you an example. And if you allow me, Kevin Kamanga was at some point dormant, but he's now an active member. We will give him his dividends.
Congratulations, Kevin. Yeah. All right. I think that was very clear, because after today, watu watalia. That is guaranteed. Yeah. The person who mwenye alileta January, June na December, tuta enjoy. So we encourage. Okay. Thank you, Chair, for that clarity. So there are two main reasons why we physically meet. That is why we encourage for physical attendance. The first thing is to at least get to hear and agree on the dividends and the interests. And number two, our next point, which is the elections. And every year we have 3 officials who retire, either for re-elections, yeah. Sorry. I missed proposing and seconding the budget. Proposer. Moses? Proposes? Moses Mugeni. Seconder? Who seconds? Gina? Sorry? Elias who? Doctors. Okay? Thank you, Chair, for reminding. All right, so we are going to the next session, which is election. At every typical year, we normally have 3 members who retire. And as per process, we have to re-elect or do elections, bring in new officials or re-elect them. It is at your discretion. So this year we have 3 members who are retiring. I'm one of them from the supervisory. I've been around for a while. So I'm one of the guys retiring. We have Millicent Otieno. Millicent is from the management side. She's our treasurer, Money Matters, retiring. And then we have Johnson Kamau, who's the chair of the credit committee. So he's also retiring this year. So what normally happens is that the official from the ministry, who's here with us, Madam Esther, will oversee the election. Because tunasema lazima ikuwe fair. Correct? Hapa kama kuna 2-term ama 1-term, it is you guys to decide. If you have somebody you think, and that is a very critical part, because we need more minds. Umesikia bwana chair hapa na numbers, right? It means that kind of skill set is very key. If you're an accountant, you're very good at supervising, you're very good at document keeping, please, your skill is very important. You can also try and bring out yourself as a member to be voted. You have somebody in mind, this is the part where you bring them on board. Please not ini kujitolea, right? We are doing it for you. And most important, as you join, it is for the team. It's a welfare, correct? So I think this is a part where now we'll go through the process. Madam Esther will guide us on how we are going to go about it. But at the end of the day, we expect to get more members on the committee. Once they join, we are going to constitute ourselves. That means we are going to agree who's going to sit on the management, who's going to sit on the credit committee, and the supervisory will be elected here today. Somebody who's going to replace me. Okay? So pretty much I'd want to hand over to Madam Esther, and we try and make it as democratic as possible. It is going to be a very transparent process. Hakuna kuficha white, right? And we have it's pretty much a polling station. Okay? I would want to hand over. Thank you, Madam Esther.
Thank you. Good afternoon, members. Just so you are aware, today is World Parkinson's Day. Anyone who is aware of that? You are. That's why I'm in blue, to commemorate the day of the people who are suffering Parkinson's disease. So if you are here, maybe you know of someone or you are suffering from that disease, you're seen, you're valued, and you are not alone. For those who are not here during the introduction, my name is Esther Mutwa. I'm a cooperative officer from the Ministry of Cooperatives, and I have been the one who has been overseeing your AGM. And I hope the next AGM coming from this one, I'll be the one who will be coming, because I've loved your sacco. Nyinyi ni wangwana. Hakuna kelele. Okay, so I'm here to do the elections, to appoint the auditor, to help you pass resolutions. And before that, I'd like to make very few remarks. The first one is about appreciating members for patronizing the SACCO, appreciating the management for the good work. And because everyone who has come here before me has talked about defaulters, whomst. So I'd like to tell people, let's patronize our SACCO more by being active and servicing our loans on time. And I like to say everyone has heard about the SACCO bill, right? Please let's not tusipeleke gossip if we don't have the real facts about the SACCO bill. It's here to protect members. Na ikipitishwa, we will be flexible enough to adopt it. Sindio? Yes. I'd like also to tell the management to make sure that members get education annually because it's their right as members. Also to remind the members to update their next of kin details. It's very important. And the last bit is the society is compliant from the ministry, and we'd like to appreciate the management and also the members for that. And we hope that moving forward, we will always be compliant. Now to the appointment of auditors. Last AGM, you were advised to change your auditors by Madam Margaret, who went on retirement, by the way. So, but he has said, if you want him to continue doing the auditing, he is available. But it's upon you members to decide. Sawa sawa. Mnaona aje? Should he leave so that we can vote? Ama mshaamua? Nirudie? I'm just here. Nirudie, members. We are appointing the auditor. Mnataka aendelee ama do you want a new auditor? Or should we vote? We vote. So we ask him to step outside so that we can vote. Kindly, sir. So we have a yes and a no. Yes, that they continue. No, that they don't continue. So we go with show of hands. We go with show of hands. Okay, wangapi yes, he continues. Hey. But we can see. Okay, just lift up your hand so that I can count. Okay, online votes. We have 30 seated votes. 30 seated, yes. You can tell them to. I tell them. Members on the online platform, kindly raise up your hands so that we can count. If you're voting yes for the auditor to continue auditing our books. Okay, now we maybe can go to no. How much of it? So we have 2 members who have voted online. Okay, wangapi no? Okay. What are the other options? So if it's a no that he doesn't continue, the management will look for an alternative auditor.
So to repeat, is there a no? First. And so apparently, is there an alternative so that they can choose the alternative? That is the question.
Yeah, to choose an alternative, the management has to vet. They can't just choose an alternative. No, if it's a no, if the people who are saying no are more than yes, so we pass it as a resolution that the management has to look for another auditor. If yes, the auditor continues, then we don't have, but we have to pass it as a resolution in this meeting.
So, Madam Minister, what you are saying is,
yes,
it is the number of votes that determines. If
yes,
it is a no, then now the management will get an alternative. So how many are saying no so that we move to that alternative?
So yeah, the yes.
So, and be
have
transparent. It's okay. It is okay to say no. Don't be shy.
Oh, online members, the ones who are voting no. So the members in this sitting who have voted yes are 30, online 2. The members who have voted no, they're just 2 in this sitting. So we have given him a chance to audit our books again for sorry? So we move to passing of resolutions. There's a proposal to distribute 6.3 million, that is interest on members' deposits, at a rate of 10.5%. Would you wish for that to be distributed? We reinvest it back to the Sacco? We give it to the community? I proposer for distributed. Simesema itu ndo proposer na seconder. No, we don't have to. We just get a proposer in a seconder. So proposer 1, him. Seconder, him.
Mike Sata proposes, Alex Oyuga seconds.
There's another proposal to distribute dividends on share capital to a tune of 395,000 at a rate of 15%. We do what? We distribute. Proposer? Ndo hao wawili.
So Kevin Otieno and Dominic Juma.
There's another proposal to give the management honoraria of 500,000 to distribute amongst themselves for the work that they've done the entire year. You agree? You propose. Your name is?
Justin Ikuzi and?
Ken Morag. You should not be in the management, are you?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's a very active member.
Okay. Yes. Yes, you do.
How comes the committee are getting the 500 and on the share capital is 385, just for understanding purpose? The 15%.
So maybe to explain, so 15% is on your share capital. Remember the 5,000? Yeah. Let the chair answer that.
Okay, if you take the total share capital, the 5,000 in total, and you take 15% of it, it comes to 385, right? So if you take total, I think we are about this share. This 15% is not only 15% for those who are qualifying; it's all the whatever, everybody. So 15% of that total share capital is what comes to 385,000. Did that answer your question? So the 500,000 is what you're giving to this committee for the work they have done for you to earn you the 6.3 million that you're going to give yourselves.
Kumbe mko mmelewa. Nasema, oh. Anyway, now we move to elections. The management has 7 members. The credit subcommittee is part of the management. So if there are 7, a third of that, they're supposed to retire annually. So a third of 7 is 2. So we have Maurice, who left, and Johnson, who is retiring but eligible for re-election. So I'd like to declare those 2 seats vacant, and I call for your proposals. Yes? To return Johnson, proposed by Ken Murage. Secretary Ken Murage proposed that Johnson continues. A seconder for Johnson first. You second in Johnson. Gina? Erastus. Another proposal? Yes? Nelson Ngetich. Another proposal. A seconder for... Yes. He has been proposed by who? Eliud. Okay. A seconder for? Ngetich. Ngetich. A seconder for Ngetich. You seconding? Kevin Otieno. Another proposal? Online? None? Nothing? Okay. So the members agree that the 2 will take the seats unanimously. Yes. May agree? Any person with a different opinion? No. Johnson and somebody Ngetich. Nelson. So for the supervisory, okay. There's no. Ngetich simama watu wakuone.
CCI. Last year I talked on your behalf. CCI, last year I talked on your behalf. This year you kept quiet. Peter Mugia has since left CCI. And you are all aware of that, isn't it? It's gone. But it's gone.
Was it fast? I asked, is there anyone with a different opinion? And I gave like 3 seconds. Should we give them a chance, members? We proceed. Wait, let's hear from them. Should we proceed? Okay. So okay, I've been told we need to clap for them. So we clap for them. Okay. For the supervisory, we have Ibrahim. He's retiring, but eligible for re-election.
Stepping out, right?
Wait.
So that they do the voting.
Unless we have other candidates.
Okay.
No need to step out. Let's get a proposer and a seconder for him. Alikuwa amecampaign. Online. No, let me ask for another proposal, and then now, because you already have okay. Do you have another proposal to fill in that vacant position in supervisory? CCI. I'm asking, do you have another proposal to fill in that vacant position in supervisory?
CCI, this is your chance before it goes.
Sorry? You are okay with him? Una propose mtu? Haki wamemruka. Aya, sawa. So I'm assuming everyone is comfortable with the elections, and I have been your presiding officer for the day, and I want to appreciate each and every one of you for airing out your opinions and also for making the elections process very seamless. Allow me to leave because I have another meeting. They raised their hands. A seconder for Ibrahim. Ernest. So yeah, as I was saying, allow me to leave because I have another meeting. It has been a very big pleasure meeting each and every one of you. I hope to work with you more moving forward. Kwaherini.
Okay, thank you, Madam Sir, for allowing me to serve again and the team. To be honest, I didn't campaign, but ini like 10th term. Hata C3 ama 4. But I appreciate. I'm here to serve. Okay, so I think we are, Chairman wants to say something. Proceed, Chair.
Yeah, last year we said the co-opted members. Co-opted members, we have 2 of them representing the member organizations. We have Winfred and we have Steve. We agreed last year that these positions will also be up for not re-election because it's the board that normally re-elects them, as in it normally co-opts them. So, but their term, their term should also end so that we get others who might want to serve, because it's only us that we get normally elected. Our term ends, and you guys decide whether we want to have us back or not. So these positions should also be the same. And you said yes, so which means that their term now ends, and the board will, in their wisdom, during or after reconstitution of the office, where the board will then decide who to co-opt from the member organizations. Normally, the co-opting is based on the gaps we have that we need someone to provide, and also to represent those particular organizations. So please note that we will then decide to have, particularly from CCI, we must get someone. Steve as well has since left CCI. So CCI, please, in your wisdom, you'll need to give us one person that will be able to represent you fairly and take care of your interests, and should also be able to serve the office diligently. There's a lot of work here, and please don't give us somebody who wants us to come, as in somebody who cannot get out of his or her way to work for you and work for the Sacco. Of course, Winfred is on this side as well. We will then, if we decide that Winfred is coming back, we will then discuss as a board. Thank you.
I think, Chair, you mean now, this is the part where they can actually propose someone, right? Yeah, CCI. Because to be honest, you guys are vacant. Joshua Mtua. Proposed by? Michelle Chebet proposes Joshua Mtua. Seconda? Ken Murage, seconds. So as Peter says, this is it's a sacrificial scope. Unajitolea completely, 100%. Yeah. So I think when we sit as a board, we are going to agree. Yeah. People want to see Joshua. Yeah. Karibu Joshua. Okay. I think we are going very well. We are almost on the last tail of the meeting. So we are going to resolutions. And this is the part where there's we give you also the opportunity to engage. Yeah. Yeah. So that now at least we can pick various elements from the reports, right? From the election, and your opinions on how we can be able to manage, just for a few minutes, to be able to improve the circle. So if there's anyone who felt like they needed to say something, this is the chance.
Hello guys. So my issue is with the Quora application. So oh, my name is Dixon. Sorry, I'm Dixon from CCI, and my issue is with the Quora application. I used to depend so much on Steve to align my the values, the digits on the app and all that. So it's my question to the both the committee and everyone. But do you think it's necessary to have technical support, at least one, someone that you can depend on if things do not align? We are many tech engineers from CCI and all that. I don't know if it's something possible from the SACCO's point of view.
Remind me your name? Dixon. So I think your question is on technical support on issues around Quora, right? Okay, so I think we'll pick that as a skill set. We have Anthony who can mention something on Quora. He's the guy who pretty much the admin of the application.
Thank you for that question. In matters regarding Quora, for the moment I'm handling them, and I usually get escalations from your side through Steve. And now I think I'll be getting escalations through Joshua. So in case of anything, you can just contact Joshua. Joshua will escalate to me. Yes. But also, most of the members have my number. Actually, I'm the only guy asking for reminding you to pay your instant loan. Just send on that matters Quora. Okay, thank you.
Allow me to just add on whatever. I think if I got him, Bindio is your name, isn't it? And your first name begins with a D. David Dixon Bindio, yes. Now, the Quora system, the challenge we have with it is that it's a cloud system, and there are very many updates. There are very, very many updates. And whenever they do an update, they just deploy it without telling members. And that sometimes distorts our whatever. We went into Quora because of cost implications. You know, we are still a small circle, but we also have to be, we cannot go for a very huge system. If any member here knows another system that is robust enough and is fairly, whatever, the cost is not very good, just make proposals. If you have any technical expertise, you can liaise with us. We will give you access to Quora. We'll sit there with you and show you what it looks like. That there is no problem. We can work together around that. But one of the challenges we experience with it is that they make a lot of updates. In fact, last year when you're doing our AGM, the day we were doing AGM, Quora was doing an update. And some of you took advantage of it. Some of you, I know you guys are very highly techy. Some of you took advantage of this and took more than one instant loan at a time. The only thing that you did not realize is that we have your deposits. Some of you, there's a gentleman here who lost 60,000 of his or her deposit. I don't know whether it's a gentleman or a lady, because he took 4 loans at the same time to take advantage of the bug that was in Quora system. So yes, you took 4 loans at the same time, but you did not pay them. We took away your deposit up to what? So if you get less dividends, you have to take it. Yeah, so that's some of the challenges. Of course, as developers, those of you who are in the room, software developers, depends, you know that sometimes management of a software requires, you need to be tactful so that you don't expose bugs to a system that is in use. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I think on the Quora part, it's very key because I know most of you guys have Fuliza. It's kind of the new way of managing finances. But now you can use the Sacco Fuliza. It's available anytime. And the best part is that you end up generating revenue so that we enjoy at the end of the year. And also to add on what the chair is saying, and maybe Anthony can clarify, the moment you don't pay your Fuliza, the Sacco Fuliza loan you've taken, you get blacklisted. For how long? 6 months. So just know within 6 months, you can't go back. So try as much as you can for those guys who are taking loans, yeah, to ensure that at least you pay before the 30th day. You have a question?
This is still in regards to Quora. I'm a frequent user, and what I came to notice is that if you take it during the end month, ama first, haitakubali, and I have to call Johnson, and within a day or two ndo itukwe niweze kupata. Whereas in the middle of the month, 23rd huko, it's available. So from that, I think labda saa ingine hakuna pesa. Kwa sababu mbona hii tarehe moja hapo hakuna, kini huko katikati.
The Sacco can't be broke, I assure you.
Yeah, allow me to respond this with a lot of humility. This is one of the challenges we're experiencing with this Quora system. Previously, Quora used to send to us notifications when the float goes lower than some limit we gave them. These days, when they did an upgrade, those notices are not coming. And we have complained severally, but those complaints or whatever. You are right that sometimes the float goes lower and you're not able to access the funds. Right, Helen, you've heard the members cry. What that means is that we manually have to access and see the limit nearly every day. But sometimes, like he says, towards the end of the month, you might see, say, 500,000. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, there's no money. As in, there's some period when there's no money, as in nobody's taking the loans. But then sometimes you saw a good money, but then the morning, imeenda. So that is why, that's when now the challenge, if the messages were coming, we'll still push the Quora, but in the meantime, let's be checking the balances so that our customer here, Washira, does not go whatever.
Okay, mine is still again on Quora. I think today, Quora, you're going to have a lot of challenge. Now, I don't know whether it is still with these upgrades, but one, what has the Sacco management done? You see, when you take a software, there is what you call the service level agreement. It is supposed to do this. If it doesn't, how does the owner of that system compensate you? Because the Sacco will go at a loss if the software does not perform as it's supposed to do. What is the mitigation level, or how are we supposed to to deal with that? Secondly, sometimes you find it awkward. I don't know, it is only me. You have taken 20,000, so you're supposed to pay 21,600. You pay 21,600, it tells you it is more than the maximum. So you pay 20 separate, then 16 separate. And yet it's going to the same app. That's awkward. If, you know, when you tell me you give me more work, and probably I'm trying to beat the deadline. I've just remembered, today is the deadline. And then when I pay, it tells me I have to pay 20 separate and 1,600 separate. Let them put it one. If you are telling me to pay 21,600, please don't break it down. Let me pay it in one installment. Some of us are also trying to avoid some charges, transactional charges, and now you are bringing them right on our face. So it's good. Yeah, so.
Thank you for those two questions. I'll start with the latter one. On the Quora system, that was sort of a bug. And the chair has mentioned, they usually do a lot of upgrades. So we noted that particular bug and we escalated it to Quora. Because what happened was like when you're paying, assuming you're paying 2,000 and your loan was 15. Once you pay, it takes off the 15, but doesn't take off the interest. When you're paying again the interest, the 500, again it charges you for the transaction. So that was an issue which we escalated to Quora, and I think it was solved. I've not heard it again. That was sorted. The other question was SLA. Where? Quora tumepelekana now. There was even a time, every Saturday we used to camp at their office with a chair. Chair anatoka kazi, tunaenda kukaa hapo kwa ofisi. So as if I can say today where we are, at least they pick our calls. This month and last month we've not gone to the office. The only thing which we've noted is that they are improving their system. And that was where Chair said, in case you have another system which you can propose. There was a time we even migrated, then we thought, okay, tunaenda wapi? Tukarudi kwanza. But if there's another system which members can propose, we will be happy to check it out. We've checked out some few systems over the years, and so far none has outdone Quora in some key aspects. But there are aspects we can forgo for the other major ones. But so far, tuko tu now.
Maybe to add something on what Anthony is saying, that we've been looking for options and we end up coming back to Quora. I think for those of you who understand the systems, the Sacco systems, mostly it was a new thing that was implemented on most of the Saccos. And Quora being the first in the market, maybe got the advantage of getting the referrals. Because I think even when we went for Quora, it's someone who gave that proposal and we had to look at it. So being the first in the market, they became monotonous. But currently we have several providers, and the reason that we cannot jump into any provider right now, it's also in regards to security for our monies. You know, you have to get a referral from someone to know that they have used this app and it's okay. So before we send our proposal to anyone, we need to do a due diligence. And if anyone has interacted with a system, or you have friends who have a system that works better, then I think we can look into that. But let's not jump into the conclusion right away without doing a due diligence.
Yeah, just to add on what our colleagues have said, Quora system is a cloud system, and therefore they have so many users, or so many customers, and they run it centrally. We have had some proposals with good systems, but the cost is out of the roof for us. Remember, there were two systems, one from what is this guy? Whatever. But they were in several millions. It's a good system, yes. The companies in Westlands, what is the name of, next to Quora, there were some guys who gave us, whatever. When I remember the name of it's a very fairly known, if I mention the name, it's just gone out of my mind. Those are one of the companies that had whatever, but the cost was way a little on the higher side. You know, you cannot take all our dividends to them. So what we resorted to, there are normally two ways of managing this kind of thing from a business perspective. You either invest in an asset or you invest in an expenditure and you amortize it over a period of time, as in pay as you use, which is what we went for, or buy the system, have it with you, that's an asset, and then amortize it over a period of time, in which case you'll have spent so much high system, and you must also have you will have a very high recurring cost to maintain it, because yes, it gives you good service, but you have a higher cost, in which case for 1 or 2 or 3 years, your dividends will go down, and then hope that in future, this will have an impact on the dividends in future. So the strategic decisions that we made was, if we can get a pay as you use and a good system for that matter, then we will expense these figures as we go, as we use them. And you realize that Quora charges is about between around 14,000 a month for using their system. Around that figure. Of course, there are other costs which are like on the instant loan, but this is whatever. And then they gave us, when you're doing the implementation, it was around, we spent around 300,000 for implementation. The other guys are giving us figures, 3 million, 5 million, 6 million plus. And some of you, some of you are developers, some of you are selling systems. If you're doing, the costs are normally not that cheap, if you get a good system, that is. But cloud systems are fairly cheaper because you actually pay us as you use, which is good for this kind of setup we have. Thank you. So that sometimes you are looking at, okay, if you have the money, you can call the shots. But if you don't have that money, you also have to, lazima urege or whatever, mahitaji yako pia. So that's why okay, like say for instance, somebody like me, we also provide software solutions to other people. So we know, yes, we know the best system we require, we know what we need, but they don't have it. But we also know how much it normally costs, and vis-a-vis how much we actually pay. And that's why sometimes tunatafuta tu tukipata ile ingine ambayo tunaweza kutoshana na sisi na pesa yetu na inatupatia huduma ya kamilifu, tutachukua. So any of you who has got any other options, please give us. Thank you. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, Chair. I think Chair anasema tukubali hali yetu. Right? More questions?
I'll just a follow-up question on last year. The Chair had said that we can integrate a system whereby if you are going to be a guarantor, there is like a rating on maybe Quora or another system, so that people can know, if I'm going to guarantee somebody, what is the credit worth of this person, or the rating in terms of that. Was it implemented?
Maybe I can say something there before Chair. So the part of guaranteeing is a very sensitive matter. And maybe Chair can add a comment there. So we have guys they were not credit worthy. We've tracked, they've started paying. See, that person is a risk, true or false? And you're saying you'd want to know in any way, right? I used to be a defaulter, right? And then, it's an example. So I used to be a defaulter, right? And then the credit committee pushed me until I started paying. I'm still a risk, right? You consider me a risk, correct? The question is, I've started paying, I'm now a normal member who can take a loan, right? Now, would the committee, or rather the management, put my name out as a risk? Will it be fair? That is one element. Then we have now the real defaulter, right? The person whom we are saying, this person has defaulted, so no one should allow them to guarantee you. So that we can actually discuss. So basically, we've sat and discussed about it. It's very dicey. The only thing we are doing right now to protect you is to ensure that person who is a defaulter and has guaranteed you is out of the list. We will not approve that loan if the person is there. But we cannot control somebody who becomes a defaulter after they've taken the loan. We have an example. We have a member who was dishing out signatures. The member was very healthy, has enough deposits, right? Anyone who comes with his signature, automatically an approval, right? Then unfortunately the member became a defaulter, right? So it means anyone who guaranteed this guy will definitely have an issue. So some of these defaulters, you can never know them until when they stop paying. And it means I cannot be able to display you until you become a defaulter. But the only question is, the moment you become a defaulter, can I display you? Now what you are doing to ensure that we cover you is, if somebody becomes a defaulter, yeah, John Doe is a defaulter, the moment that loan comes with his name and his signature, we will not approve. So that's how we protect you. But the challenge comes into somebody who is very okay, an active member, has been paying the deposits, the loans very well. Of course, anyone he has guaranteed, they are much safe and okay, then automatically they become a defaulter. That's where the issue comes in. So it's a place where, as a committee, we are trying to drive discipline amongst members, and most important, the credit committee to be able to protect you. But I'll allow Chair to comment if there's anything I've missed.
I will answer his questions directly. Last year, I mentioned, yes, that we wanted to start having loan applications on the application. And this was the Quara system. Currently, we don't have normal loans on the system. And we expected, Quara had promised us that we will start having members apply for loans on the system. And that would have collected data on that. It's possible from a system perspective to collect data on somebody's behavior and provide it to whoever is authorized to get it. And that could be including guarantors. All right? Now, Quara has not given us that option yet. Now, the question of who to provide that information to has been dealt by Ibrahim. That is it okay? Should we give guarantors information of that information of a loanee? So I want to address it from the other side. Who is a guarantor? And what does a guarantor bring on board when somebody is taking a loan? I want to take it this way. Suppose you have a bull, cow, and I come to a request that please allow me to use this cow or this bull. I will refund you the bull after 2 months. If you do not know me, what will you do? You will refuse, isn't it? If someone who you know and knows me comes to you and say, please, just give Peter Mwalo, you will ask that fellow, do you know Peter Mwalo, isn't it? And if you trust that person and you trust Peter, and he gives you his word that if I please just give it to him on my name, you will give me, isn't it? In other words, he is introducing Peter Mwalo to you, isn't it? As he knows Peter Mwalo, whatever you do not know about Peter Mwalo, he knows, isn't it? It's on that basis that you will give Peter Mwalo that bull. That whatever he knows, you don't know about Peter Mwalo, he knows. And if the Peter Mwalo does not pay the bull, he will do something to ensure that Peter Mwalo pays. I've given you an analogy, but that is the role guarantors play. A guarantor is introducing the loanee to the SACCO. There must be something that he knows about the loanee that the SACCO does not know. Right? In the sense that if this guy does not pay, you probably pengine mnajuana mnakutananga whatever. So that if we are not able to get him, you are able to get him. But the problem here is this. Tuambiane ukweli. Some of you know the loanees, mnakutananga, unajua halipi, lakini bado mnataka sisi tufanye nini? Tumtafute. Lakini mnakutana hata baada ya nini? Ukweli ama si ukweli? Mnafanya kazi pamoja. We've told you that this guy is a defaulter. Lakini mnatuuliza nyinyi mmedu nini? So that's where the problem also comes. So when you there are many times I actually stop some loans from being whatever, because ukiangalia the records, this guy doesn't, or this person is not credit worthy. We even call you to say, are you sure you want to guarantee so and so? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Johnson normally calls you individually, beside the signature, anawauliza, sivyo? Na mnasema ndio, mpe tu. Some people, even when you want to deduct your money, unatuuliza, hebu nionyeshe, niliweka signature yangu. So all I'm saying is this: when you are guaranteeing someone, it is not on the basis of, yes, credit worth is fine, we know who is, and if there's somebody not credit worthy, we'll drag our feet in giving this guy a loan or this lady a loan. But you should also have known this person, or you have ways of getting this person to repay the loan. And many times, yes, anybody who is wanting to be guaranteed, they will go to someone they have some level of relations with. Pengine wanafanya kazi pamoja kwa karibu, ama ni mtu wanaweza kutaniana, yani wanajuana kinjia fulani. They know each other. And sometimes, they even know where they live. There was a time when one of you or one of us here who is still a guarantor, they know where this person lives. And until you say, we are deducting, that's when they say, oh, an car, whatever, this particular place. In fact, over the weekend, we are going to his house. Until before we get there, everybody's just giving you hot air. So that is basically what you introduce, whatever. But if Quara gives us whatever, we will be able to get some those details, and we because we want, as you do that side, we also do our part. But you guys as guarantors, you have to be serious as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I think for a moment you preached, yeah, and the message has gone home. Alfred, you have a question.
I'm Alfred. I work with Wananchi. Thank you. Apologies, I came a bit late. The point that I came at the point where I think we were discussing 500,000 to appreciate the committee, and I looked at the financial report. Last year as well, it was 500,000. But now as a member, I think we should get to a position where, and based on what the chair has said, I think it's a bit emotional and it's a serious matter. I think we need to get to a point where, can we not, is it possible, this is for the members to decide. If an accountant was to ask the basis of coming up with 500,000, I don't know whether it's explainable. Because last year it was 500,000, this year it is 500,000. I don't know, next year it could be 500,000. But 2024, 2025, the net profit that the organization or the SACCO made, those amounts are different. But we're still talking of 500,000. Is it possible to come up with a percentage, a fraction? Because one, we must all admit, you guys are doing, it's like you guys mejitolea. So it's something we need to appreciate. But again, we need to agree. If we made 6 million this year, and the meeting has approved 500,000 to appreciate you people, should we make 20 million next year? I think it won't be fair to appreciate you people for the effort you will have put with another, a similar amount. It can only be fair if it is relative to some sort of what we make. What if we make 500,000 next year? Will you take it all? No. Do you deserve to be appreciated? Of course, yes. I don't know whether this is making sense. So my proposal one is, can we come up with a fraction of the net profit that we make? We can agree it can be 2%, 1%, 90%, whatever makes sense, to be appreciating this team with year on year, so that we do not wait for them to come and tell us they have proposed. In plain what you have said, mmesema tuwapatie 500, mmepropose tuwapatie 500,000. It is hard sometimes not to say yes, because if we say no, then what? Okay? But if you look at it critically, you guys have worked, okay? And you deserve to be appreciated. But now, I think we need to come up with some sort of a resolution that every year, should we make X amount, then let us just give X percent or Y percent to appreciate this team. That is one. Fixing that to whatever has been discussed last, that the chairman has emotionally and passionately responded to. I think it is imperative and it is necessary to let the members know. I work with one of the management members in one office. I know nothing about you people, but I sometimes, because we have a small office and you guys have some very critical discussions, I overhear. He tries to be very discreet, but mimi tu jijazia. Hii lazima ni hivi na hivi. I have heard about members who guaranteed a member some serious amount, and it's not one member who has disappeared with their money, right? Last year, I proposed that if a member is leaving an any organization that constitutes this body and has a loan, they need to give us some sort of surety. I don't know whether that was considered. This year, I think it is good to let members know that even it doesn't matter how much you have in your account, because it's not only happening here, but if you go to other circles where you have no relationship with anybody in terms of employment. Here, as you said, the chair, I will go to the person that maybe we sit with. Najua huwa kona pesa, nawambia niweke 500,000, niweke 20,000, na ataniapprovia. But if you go to those other circles where we don't work together, we have nothing, we just met there because the circle has brought us together, I will give a simple calculation that maybe most people miss. If you have 100,000, for example, and you have guaranteed 50,000, I think, and you can correct me, the circle can only give you 3 times. Is it 3 times or 2 times? 3 times of 50,000. Because the other 50, should whoever you guaranteed not pay, then that is our safety, right? But I think people miss this. I have 100,000 in my circle. I have guaranteed XYZ to the tune of 80,000. But me, I have 100,000. So I go to somebody, I want 300,000, ni guarantee. Ideally, I only qualify for 60,000. I don't know whether that has ever been clear. Because if I try to talk to a few members of this circle, whatever was coming out to me was that assumption that so long as my savings is reading 100,000, then I qualify for 300,000. Ideally, if I have guaranteed 90,000 out of that 100,000, I can only get up to 3 times of 10,000. I don't know. Maybe, Chair, you need to put this out to people so that when you are looking for people to guarantee you, and you are told you do not qualify, the 60,000 that has been guaranteed, you can get only 40,000 because this person who has given you 20,000, akotuna 10,000 kwa account. Even if the reading in this guy's account is 1 million, because he has guaranteed 990,000 to some other people. So I'm saying that because you are so passionate, you are so emotional, and it makes sense. Thank you.
Mnataka kupiga makofi? Yeah. So I think, Alfred, just to get you right, 2 points. The first point is you don't have a dispute with the 500,000, right? The only question is there a formula related to the revenue? Exactly. So it's something we need to consider. Yeah. It only makes sense that you earn what you've received, correct? That's what you mean. The second point is on the guarantorship, which is a very broad subject today. So what you are saying is you should only be legible to the balance you have after you've guaranteed. To make it very clear, you have 100,000, you've guaranteed a sum of 50, you only have 50K, correct? Yeah. We normally try, as supervisory, I see the credit committee trying to pull that for most members. But ideally, it means most of you guys will not get guarantors. But I agree, it's something that can actually be put to protect the SACCO, so that when you take a loan, you're only limited to your deposits. I don't know whether my colleagues, there's anyone who wants to add, but we've picked the first and the second comments as something that when we sit, we'll have to come up with something, especially on the first comment. Madenge.
Mine is from the audit report. There was a concern from the auditor regarding the interest on normal loans versus the instant loans. So last year when there were no instant loans, there was a figure that he gave. And now this year, when there was an instant loan, he said the interest on instant loans was something like 900,000, and then the interest on the normal loans was 3 point something. Somebody can guide me. And then last year we did not have the instant loans. The figure was still 3 point something. Now 0.4. Yes, 3.4 million. This year? 4 million. Okay. Now, assisted maybe by the accountants in the room, should the SACCO not encourage people to take more instant loans than the normal loans? See now, like when you check on the compounding of the instant loans compared now to the compounding of the normal loans, we seem to get more from the instant loans than the normal loans. That is one. Two, what informed the 8% on the instant loans? Like when you check the normal local apps that we use to get the loans, most of them are trading at 8% interest per month. Like when you, whatever you take, you will still repay it at 8%, same to what the SACCO is giving us. So what is the motivation of the SACCO encouraging us to take more loans from them and not from the local apps? Should they not give us a lower rate than what the market is giving in terms of the lending rate from the local apps?
I'll pick on the part of how instant loans are charged. The reason why instant loans have more income to the SACCO is we charge you 8% for one particular month, correct? Then after, if you default and you don't pay the instant loan which you've taken, assuming you've taken 1,000 shillings, that will be 1,000 plus 8%, correct? For that particular month. You've defaulted for that month. From that day you default, I'll be charging you 1,000. I'll be charging the 1,000 plus the 8%. I add it, I'll be charging it 1% per day. Ikienda mwezi moja mwezi mbili, ukiangalia utapigwa na butoa. Because it increases sharply.
So I think, Madenge, what Anthony is saying, the reason why instant, basically loans, mobile loans, have more revenue is because the interest is higher. So we encourage guys, and the moment people normally take it because of convenience. It is faster. You don't have to go through the normal approval process. You want 20K, 10K, 15K, small money, it's faster. That is why. But we are not encouraging you to default because, of course, it means you're getting 30% from you every month. But the reason why loans have more revenue, it's because it has high interests. But we try and balance both. Yeah. So you're proposing a reduction on the interest rate of monthly rate. So it means your revenue will reduce, basically, because it's the money you share at the end of the year, right? No, for you individual you'll benefit, but at the end of the year, your dividends will reduce, because it's a generation. It's basically we're generating income through that. Yeah, but that should come as a vote during the main session. So we'll include that on the minutes. Let's allow in procession.
Okay, thanks. I think one of the things we've noted is that our loan uptake for 2024 was 28 million, and this year, 2025, sorry, last year we had 19 million. It's almost a 10 million drop. So it means that people are not taking up loans. Just to propose, could it be that the duration that we are taking to repay the loan is too short? Can we propose to increase the payment duration? Currently we are doing 4 years, which is 48 months. Can we adjust that with a year and then see how people behave? Can they can have some flexibility on their cash? I know there are people working for a company expecting some pay rise. It hasn't come, and those things affect how you repay these things. I increase my deposits every year. I get a rise so that I'm able to grow, and I'm also not wasting my money. So now this year, Ibrahim utaumia kidogo because mumekataa kufanya hiyo kitu. My proposal is, can we adjust that at least from 48 to 60? Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's worth considering. Yeah, so that we can make it easier for you to repay. So we'll sit down, discuss with the committee, because banks do 72 months, right? Even I think affordable housing does more for mortgages. For us, we've been doing 48 months since inception, but it's something we can always review to make it easier for you. So I want to take one last question, kwa sababu watu wako na njaa, or maybe two last. So yourself, tumalize na Chebet, and then we can close with prayers. Sinsawa? Okay.
So mine is still on that maybe instant. While a member is suggesting you reduce the rate, I will not work on the rate, neither will I water down his opinion, but I would suggest, based on how the committee, the credit committee will evaluate the risk in the 1 month loan, can they also consider if the risk is low, then you can have the loan not just fixed to 20,000, but probably based on how much deposit do I have? Because if I have 100 or 200,000, I mean, you are not risking anything by giving me 20,000. So even if I default, you still have somewhere you can get it and cover the loss. So if probably you can be able to assess me and tell me on the app, if it can be adjusted that, probably you qualify up to 50. But still payable within 30 days. Why? Because you have told me I qualify up to 50. If I have 300,000, then you have no risk as the credit committee. So my proposal is if that amount can also be varied based on the member deposits or the risks also involved.
Okay, so I think we hear you. So you want probably like a percentage based on your deposits to guide rather than a minimum standard deposit. Okay, so Victoria, take note of that. We can also discuss. So Peter wants to comment on that.
Okay, I want to combine his question and Alfred's question. Sorry. Now, from where we sit, and probably in this team, normally who does this, the person who does this arithmetic of the business, Because at the end of the day, when you come up with how much you must make on dividends or share capital, or sorry, interest on deposits or dividends, that is a business question. Beginning with what Alfred said on guarantorship vis-a-vis, of course, we don't want to expose the members, but we also want to make money. Ken is saying, can you increase the whatever? These are conflicting demands. And when a conflicting demands arise from a business perspective, the other conflicting demand is that at the end of the year, you want to, the only answer people want to hear is what is the percentage. It doesn't matter where you're going to get it from. So where sometimes I sit, I look at what is the risk level and the pros and cons of the same. If you ask me, say, for instance, what is our default risk? What is our default rate right now? Is it what percentage is it? Currently, we are below 10%. That does not basically mean, of course, we are above 5%, but below 10%. That does not mean that we don't have defaulters. We do have defaulters. So when you look at, okay, you run a business, you have to make money for the stakeholders. What options are for you on the table from an economic perspective? Which one is the lesser evil? And then you answer those questions. I hope you understand me. Right. Now, then you see how much, to what extent can you expose member deposits with a lower risk, right? So those are some of the decisions that we then will make and look at the pros and cons. Because if you don't give out loans, you also don't get, you also don't make income. So when I gave you those budget of say 6.1, I have to consider all those and see what, because at the end of the day, we must make whatever. If you look at the budget that I presented last year and compare with the actuals, you'll probably see that they're not very far away. The actuals are not very far away from the budgets we made. So we have to look at those whatever. Secondly, on his question, instant loan is a very interesting thing. So many years ago, we did some, actually, right now, if you look at the business of telcos, and Safaricom did it. Sell small and sell to many. Safaricom today takes money even from a mama that is actually going down with, anatembea hivi, lakini Safaricom, yani unaweza kumhurumia sivyo, lakini Safaricom, earns from her and sometimes even steals from her. I'm saying steal in quotes, as in because, sometimes charges overcharges, and that's what I'm saying. They make billions from very simple and small people, which in business we call penetration strategy. We look at the figures and the uptake. If bringing down the percentage and giving it to so many favors the Sacco, because the guy that we address here is a Sacco, and that Sacco enjoys all of you, because when you make more money, you all share. If it favors the Sacco, as in to make more money for the Sacco, we will do it. If it does not favor the Sacco, then we will not. When we came to the 8%, at that time, 8% was the lowest. We began with 7%, discussed it, and said, okay, fine. Who charges what? How much does Fuliza charge? Sorry? Have you ever noted how much you paid for Fuliza? You just use.
They will Google now. ChatGPT.
You just realize that you are losing money, but you don't know how much. Yeah. 30% per month. 8% was the lowest. And I can assure you, if you are to look at the hidden charges, 8% is fairly low. But nonetheless, looking at the penetration, if we were to look at any our strategies, we will look at the numbers. Increasing the figure to higher than 20, that's fine. We'll also look at the figures and see if we can be able to increase it and see the uptake when it is increased. The only problem is that the behavior of some of you require that we save you from yourself. You know what I mean. There are people here who will deplete their savings if given a chance. They will deplete. If his deposit is 300,000 and you actually allow him or her to take 300,000, they will take it. So, our interest here, what part of our work here is to help members make savings. So we don't want to expose people to those kind of practices, especially when we can save them from doing so. So we'll also look at those or others. So, and please note that those of you, it was said here, and I think it's also in my report, if you default once, 6 months. If you default second time, we don't know what to do with you. We might even stop you from using the service because we want members to be disciplined. So as far as the business is concerned, I think that just coming back to answer your question, the two questions, one from Bwana Madenge and the other one from you. We will we'll look at those rates. If it serves the purpose of the SACCO and yourselves, we will whatever. But we must make business out of it. Because at the end of the day, even if we take away from you and an extra 1%, by the end of the year, we give it back to you, isn't it? So it is still taking from one pocket and giving it to you into another pocket. Like today, or probably in the course of the day today, when we give you back that money, you will be happy, isn't it?
I'm sure they won't pay my instant loan.
Just allow me to address one point here. Those of you who are taking top-ups, and please, the secretary, you minute this for members to know, and you probably need to put it on the wall as well. It's something that we noticed with insurance. Loan insurance, you normally know that we get deducted whatever in advance. When you're taking the loan, they deduct premium based on how much you have taken and how long you've said you repaid the loan. If you say 1 year, the premium is up to whatever. Is the shorter the period, the lower the premium. The longer the period, the higher the premium. Yes, because the risk level is higher if the period is longer. Now, please, we have this practice here. A member has a loan of 100,000, comes back for a top-up of, say, 80,000. But then, and says, I'm going to pay in 1 year. But then the member says, please retain my current deduction. While the SACCO might allow you to retain the current deduction, but the impact is that you will not be paying the top-up because you're only paying the first loan. What then happens to the insurance? They've already taken their premium, but when you want to claim, they will tell you that you are not paying the second premium, but you said you're going to pay it in 1 year, but after a while, the whole year you did not pay that loan. It was not being paid, and therefore it's invalid. That cover is invalid, so they don't pay the claim. Yes, they will not pay the claim for the top-up. So please note. So if you say that maintain the current deduction, please note that your second loan, as much as you will be deducted, the premium will be taken away from you. That premium will not help you in the event that it needs to be, that loan needs to be, whatever, in the event we need to claim. Normally, that loan covers, the premium covers total disability and death. In the event of death, whatever balance you had at that time is supposed to be paid by the insurance.
Okay, thank you, Chair. So closing remarks.
Please, I've also been reminded here that on your forms, please update next of kin. Update next of kin. We've had cases here where issues have to go to court because there are 3 or 4 people who have come for the same money. It's true, and then you expose us. Sisi bwana hatutaki kuenda kotini. So if you write here for us and you sign, that's what we do. You make our work easier there, and you don't, please don't create opportunity for lawyers to make money from you or to make money from family members.
Thank you, Chair. So I think we can close. Vote of thanks. So we want to appreciate each of you. I know it's Saturday, it's a good time to spend time with family. You know, all the week you've been working, so today is your time to rest, but you're here with us, especially the guys who are here physically. We also have some members who are with us virtually, appreciating them for creating time. We have guys from Nakuru, Kisumu, you know, Mombasa, working virtually. We have some guys on duty. I've received messages who are guys who have apologized because they're still working. We appreciate them. So, all right. So appreciating each of you for creating time, because without you, we cannot vote. You know, you can't get dividends. And of course, we pick issues to improve the SACCO. The last update is on dividends. Mmesema mnataka leo. You know, it means tunaenda nyumbani at 9 p.m. Sisi. Na mmesema to reduce 500. Just to clarify. Yeah. So we are going to disburse today. Yeah. When you wako na instant loans, Anthony amesema this is the time ya kulipa deni, correct? Yeah. So we are going to disburse today. Please, and I request, we are going to use M-Pesa for the guys with few amounts to share. So please share your number. Yeah. You have.
We said in case anyone changes their number, you are the ones who are supposed to share your numbers. Si kila mtu kama namba yako ni kama ile ya last time, msitume. You can imagine over 100.
Sawa. So what she's saying is, if you've changed your number, you're the one to share. Otherwise, we have your contacts. Sawa. Tusitumie the wrong person pesa yako.
We will use if you got a dividend last year, we will use the same number. If you change that number, that's only when you need to see us. And if you did not get dividend last year and you're expecting to get dividend this year, then please don't leave, see us.
And on that note, I've seen defaulters wabaki. We have a date with them. This is tutawashikia hapa before going to the guarantors. Correct? Yes, Ken. There's no sitting allowance, kuna lunch. Yeah. Because the sitting allowance will affect your dividends. We have not performed, but kuna lunch. Chairman, you want to comment before nirushiwe mawe? Wamekuwa majembe. Yeah.
Just like last year and over the years, we normally pay some transport allowance, which we will disburse on together with the dividends. That's the best way of managing it. You're right. Yeah.
Just transport. Ah, that's what you meant. Oh, I thought people drive here. Okay. All right. So would want to close. I'm just curious out your vice chair. I want her to pray for us. Helen. This is our vice chair. This is my boss.
Chair, maybe we should have addressed ineligibility for receiving dividends, because then we know when we disperse, there's some members. Oh, you did. Sawa. Tunaweza omba. Sorry. Yes, sir. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this great opportunity to commune here, Lord. We thank you for being with us. We thank you for being with us in all the deliberations. And we ask that as we disperse, that you may protect each one of us, Father, to the rest of the activities for the afternoon. We request for you to be with us. Bless the food, bless our members. Thank you for everything. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Asanteni. Lunch at the same place we had breakfast.
So lunch at Block A basement, correct? Thank you, guys.